I do not know.
They're right in the
So this is something.
Yeah, I held it, but I didn't want to, I didn't want
Oh,
to.
stand up. Push.
Stand up and just push.
That one is broken. Change it. Yeah.
Thank you. Change that one. So stand up and push it.
That should be higher. That looks higher.
Okay.
Maybe that's as high as it goes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It looks like
Do you hear me back there?
Yes.
I don't know why they gave me a mic.
maybe we should get shots for this. Right? I would say
Good evening and welcome to the ad hoc committee for the home rule petition pertaining to the Lawrence School Committee. This special committee was appointed by the Lawrence City Council President Giovanni Rodriguez. Today is Wednesday, August 7th. It is currently 5:46 p.m. Members of this ad hoc committee, I have to my left City Councilor at Large Ana Levy, to my right Senior Advisor to Mayor DePena Octavian Spanner, Vice Chair of the Lawrence School, I always want to say Lawrence City Council, Lawrence School Committee, Jonathan Guzman, Member of the School Committee, Sandra, we don't have your last, Edwards, oh, sorry about that, and School Committee Member and former City Councilor Myra Ortiz. At this point, can you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Committee members, we have one new business item for this meeting, and it is item 148-24, establishment of the home rule petition defining a governing structure for the Lawrence School Board upon the exit of state receivership, which is sponsored by our mayor, Brian A. DePena. Just to recap our meeting from April 30th, 2024, the purpose of this ad hoc committee is for us to work together, the city council, the mayor's administration, and the school committee, to combine the two proposals that we have. We have one proposal from Councilor Ana Levy that the mayor has adopted, and then we have a proposal from the school committee. Vice Chair Guzman, can you confirm whether or not the school committee as a whole has adopted this with a form of a vote?
Thank you, Vice Chair Infante. The school committee did adopt this language as the Lawrence School Committee submit language on May 1st.
Thank you.
I have a
Okay.
question. Madam Chair.
Advisor, Senior Advisor Spanner.
Okay, this is where I need, sit down.
You have to keep it.
Yeah, the clarification that I need, on behalf of the mayor's office, to my understanding, the mayor's the chairperson of the board, of the committee.
Correct.
Okay, did he call the meeting?
The meetings are called by the school committee rules by the city charter, which are every first Wednesday of each month at 7 p.m. In the absence of the mayor, the vice chair will preside the meeting.
However, was the mayor informed?
The mayor is informed of all meetings, especially when we submit the agendas to be posted to the Madam Clerk.
Specifically this meeting? You said all, but I mean specifically this meeting.
All of them, specifically because this meeting was a regular meeting of the Lawrence School Committee, and this was one of the matters that we took on that day in a hybrid meeting.
Okay, Madam Chair, this needs to be confirmed.
Advisor Spiner, I do have the email here up. I do not see the mayor's name listed in this. However, the purpose of this ad hoc committee, each body of governing committees appointed members to represent the city council, the mayor, and the school committee. The appointees that the mayor selected for this ad hoc committee are included in this email. So it was, in my point of view, it was the responsibility of the appointees to let the mayor know that this was happening.
No, I'm not referring to this. It means that, based on this document, there was a meeting held correctly with the Lawrence School Committee.
I'm sorry, you were referring to the
Lawrence.
May 1st. Vice Chair Guzman, can you confirm that the Mayor DePena was informed of the May 1st meeting?
Yes.
Do you have it up there?
It will take me a minute too, if the senior advisor would like me to provide evidence on that, I can do that
Yeah,
later on.
yep,
Yeah.
please, thank you, just
For the
for the,
record,
yeah.
yes.
For the record, yeah, I can do that, not at this moment, I would say, but I can get that posted and given to, for the record.
Vice Spanner?
Madam Chair, I think it would be appropriate for that to be confirmed. Because I just spoken to the mayor in regards to that. I brought it up during the public meeting, city council meeting, and I have objected to that. We have spoken with the city attorney as well at that time, and they indicated that it didn't go as the rules pertaining to the Lawrence School Committee.
Okay. Vice Chair Guzman.
Thank you, Vice Chair. On Wednesday, April 24, 2024, good afternoon, Clerk Bernal. I hope you're well. Please find attached the agenda for the Lawrence School Committee regular meeting, which is May 1st, 2024 at 7 p.m. And this email is to Eileen Bernal at cityoflawrence.com, Jennifer Duran, the school committee, and Brian A. DePena.
According to the city attorney, the mayor was supposed, as the chairperson, was supposed to call the meeting. So, for the sake of this meeting, okay, I would like to just let you know, as chair, because that was under advice of the city attorney. That needs to be confirmed, but I'm not going to object to any for this meeting to continue. Well, however, I would like to have that on the record.
Okay. Make sure, Maria, this is on the record. Thank you.
So as a point of clarification,
Ms. Committee Member Ortiz. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't even know how to.
I don't even-
Councilor Infante, how should I address you?
Just Counselor, Vice
Infante.
President, whichever
Yeah,
sees you.
I'm not sure. Councilor
At this
Infante,
point,
so
I mean-
point of clarification, what is being entered into the public record? What are we entering into the public record? Are we entering that a public email of the school committee had as per the charter, and that city clerk Eileen Burnell was notified of our standing meeting that is in the charter? Is that what we're entering into the public record? That sounds a little bit redundant.
Advisor Spanner.
It's procedure.
So procedurally, what you're having us enter into the record is what's already in our public record of being a public meeting that was put up by the city clerk of our standing meeting that is in the charter on the first Wednesday of the month. And so that being said, procedurally, are you trying to undo with this intent every meeting that the school committee has had every first Wednesday of the month that the mayor, also chair, has been absent for and has not attended or called? Is that your intent?
That is not
Advisor
my
Spencer.
intent. It was the, Madam Chair, is the, as I said before, and for the record, that was the advice and recommendation that was given by the city attorney to our mayor.
So this is, Maria, can we send correspondence to the city attorney to come before this ad hoc committee? It doesn't seem like, it may look like we're going to schedule a second meeting. So for the second meeting, can you ask him to join us, please? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For the sake of, I want to remind every member, we're talking about the future of our community, the future of our school systems, the future of how democracy and governing bodies will move forward. It's imperative that we all work together, individuals from the administration, individuals from the city council, individuals from the school committee advocated for this committee to be created in order for us to move forward. So I ask that we use this time wisely, that we get work done and be productive. Everything else, there's a bit of confusion we will send correspondence to the city attorney. I will also reach out to the city attorney directly to get clearer answers and report back to this board. But we have until 6:50. We have a hard stop at 6:50. So with that being said, I'm actually going to give the floor now to Councilor Levy, since she is the main sponsor of one of the proposals, and then we're going to go to the vice chair of the school committee for the second proposal. And Advisor Spanner, as since the mayor joined Councilor Levy, this will be both of councilors and your time to speak. But Councilor Levy, you have the floor.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak regarding this proposal. As explained before, there were practically 3 proposals in front of us on the day that this was discussed. So the reason why I submitted this home run petition was because I noticed that in the proposal, the first proposal submitted to us, we were trying to abolish the school committee in reality by vote. So no more school committee by vote, that everybody was supposed to be appointed. So I don't want to continue repeating, so that many years ago I just fight too much for having a school committee by district where everybody had the right to vote and elect a person who's going to represent, our children, our school, and the different districts. So that happened in the beginning of this 2001, then everything was approved. And I think that we as a voter have the right to decide who is going to be the person who's going to represent our people and our children at school. So when I saw the proposal submitted, I decided to write something that I think that is much, it's better for everyone. So my proposal continued giving the opportunity to be elected the 6th member for the school committee. So the member of the school committee is going to be elected, and also we're going to have some appointed person or people who shall be at all time during the term of the office of the Lawrence resident. A district member may be a voter and live in the district that they represent at the time of the election. However, if a district resign or move out of the district they were elected, they will be deemed and to have resigned, and they have to resign the position. The resulting of the vacancies will be fired by the Lawrence City Council as outlined on the section 5.7 titled Election and Term. The mayor also shall strive to appoint to the school committee member who reflect the ethnic, racial, and socioeconomic diversity of the city of Lawrence and its public school committee. So, section number 4, so I think...
I'm sorry, Councilor Levy, I'm being distracted. Do we need to take a recess for a phone call while we're in the middle of an ad hoc committee meeting?
Continue, Ms.
Thank you. If we could pause all of our phones or excuse ourselves. Let's give the
Councilor
people the
Levy.
respect that they deserve.
Section 3, all existing power and duty is going to be exercised by the Lawrence School Committee and shall be henceforth exercised by the hybrid elected appointed to the school committee. So besides of having the people elected, we're going to have some people that is going to be appointed by the mayor, okay? So on section 4, we mentioned that the term of the office of the member of the school committee elected or appointed shall be, there is a mistake, they put it 4, it's 2 years, you see it's 2, it's going to be 2, but in...
This is section 4.
In section 4,
4A.
yes, section 4A. to exempt of 4 that they say in there is 2 years. And shall commence at the 7 o'clock in the evening of the first secular day in January. So like it's the same way as the city council started. Except for the student member. The student, so we're gonna have a student that is gonna be also part of the committee that is gonna be elected for 1 year as a part of the group. The organization, and B, the organization and officer, upon the election or appointment of all of the members, the city clerk shall administer the oath of the office or to the school committee, and there shall subscribe in the book by the city clerk in accordance with the applicable law. The school committee shall meet at 7 o'clock in the evening of the first secular day in January and each even numbered year. After a majority of the school committee must be elected, have been sworn, and they have been shall call in order by the mayor. In the absence of the mayor has the right to appoint whoever that can be served on the committee, and represent practically the mayor. So the president of the school committee is the mayor and whatever that he's designed to be at the moment that he cannot be present at the meeting.
I have a question.
Yes.
The current city charter does it state that the vice chair of this committee is elected by within the board, within members of the committee? Is that?
Yes.
Mr.,
That's
what it says?
correct.
That is correct.
Yes.
So that would be our charter change as well. Is this this is altogether charter change, and would that be a separate council, meeting decision? Because now we're talking about, because now you're saying that if the mayor's unavailable, he would be the one to appoint someone to represent him. However, according to our current city charter, the language states that it would be the vice chair of the committee that would then run the meeting and keep the meeting moving forward. If the chair, who per our charter is the mayor of the city of Lawrence, is unavailable.
Well, in here, yes, it could be some change, that's the mayor cannot be present, because if you have only the 6 people, you should have like the seven people, to be part of the school committee with the mayor, or whoever is the designee by the mayor at the time.
I can say myself, I don't agree with any mayor appointing appointing a designee if the mayor, and I'm thinking about the future. I'm not just thinking about present. I feel uncomfortable giving that power to any mayor to appoint someone if the mayor is unavailable, when I think that the process should continue to be that members of the school committee, both were hybrid, all appointed or all elected, whichever route that this body and the council and the state decides to move forward with, should have that opportunity to elect their vice chair, just like any other body, governing body of the city.
I think so that this is something that has to be discussed with not just only the mayor, but also with the city clerk and because this is a home run petition when it's been sent to the state, so they also should be, that maybe this is a part of the things that has to be clarified or decided by, I don't know to where the LRA, no, not the LRA, the LEA board also, or I think so that they should review after we make it, whatever they change it. I don't know if they have to review it. If the state at the end has to do whatever decision and whatever that is the part that they consider that could be part of this new proposal or this home run petition.
Maria, can you make a note to send correspondence to our city clerk to double check the city charter? How is the city charter going to be affected by this home rule petition? And per our city charter, is the law of the members electing their vice chair, if that needs to be honored? Confirmation of that. And can you send that to our city attorney as well, please?
So on section 4C, they say, okay, the school committee shall then elect from its membership by roll call vote the vice chair of the school committee. A vote of the majority of the members shall be necessary for that election, and no other business shall be ordered until the school committee has been organized.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we scratch that because section C, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I moved ahead.
Okay.
So we do, yes, so we do keep that in section 4C.
We're gonna keep it. So,
sorry.
So
I
nothing
was
has
mixing.
been,
I was mixing it. Okay.
Nothing is gonna be changed the
Yeah.
way that it's being managed this.
Yep.
Everything is gonna continue,
Yeah.
the same way as it is right now. Or only that the mayor, if the mayor cannot assist to a meeting, he can designate somebody to be present in his name. That's,
Through you, Vice Chair, that's fine.
Mr. Guzman.
I think, it's 6:07. We only have a couple minutes here. And to be present, that particular language, if you look at it, you were right on questioning it for the reason that the language on this is that the designee has the full power as the chair given, meaning that if the mayor cannot show up, what is the duty of the vice chair? So there's there's two individuals sitting with the same power when one's supposed to pass it to the next if one is not there.
Also, I also have a question. It's the mayor's duty as a voting member. If the mayor appoints someone to be present on his behalf, this is just my opinion, I don't feel comfortable with a mayor's appointee voting on behalf of the mayor. What I have seen in prior school committee meetings is when a mayor, and this was under the Rivera administration and also the Vasquez administration, what I have seen when the former mayors could not attend, their chief of staff was there listening in. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't recall them taking any votes on behalf of the mayor, but they were there listening, taking notes, asking questions, and then reporting back to former Mayor Rivera, former Mayor Vasquez on the activity and the discussions that the school committee had that evening. So is that something, according to the present language, there is nothing that directly states about voting and things like that if the mayor is unavailable to attend?
okay, so on section 4D, President of the school committee, the mayor or his designee shall serve as the chair of the school committee. On section 4E, they say the mayor, designee, president, whatever, as chair of the school committee shall preside at all meeting of the school committee, regulated the proceeding and decide all question of order. He shall have the same right to vote in every question which come before the school committee as any other member. In the event of the absence or disability of the mayor, the designee president, the vice chair shall preside.
I'm sorry, Councilor Levy. This is giving way too much power to the mayor. This is not, what the language I'm seeing here is really not a democracy, is not a working relationship between the chair and the vice chair, the future vice chair of the school committee. And again, we don't know who will be the future mayor of our city. We don't know how our city is going to look 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years from now. We don't know who we're going to get. So I feel very uncomfortable giving this much power to the mayor as a chair. And I for this committee and for people watching at home, I want to specify, I am not specifically talking about our current mayor. I'm talking about the title mayor in general. I'm talking about the processes and governing bodies in general, no specific individuals. So I'm thinking about the future, and I don't feel comfortable giving this much power to one individual. Advisor Spanner.
Madam Chair, I disagree with your position. First of all, the mayor is elected by the people,
Correct.
and the people are expecting that his voice is heard.
Correct.
And obviously, during his absence, for whatever reason, okay, because if we think the way you express yourself, and I know where you're going, however, to make sure that there's a continuity and flow of business, if the mayor has any other meetings that are important, or even certain emergencies that he needs to attend.
He or she.
he
You
or
never.
she,
We're
right,
thinking
he or
about the
she,
future.
Thinking
Yep.
about the future, he or she, then, and thank you for the correction, that's very good, I appreciate it. Then, the mayor can relate his position to whoever he chooses in terms of representing him. I don't think that has, or that's detrimental, nor giving too much power to the position. He has the right, just like, for instance, I'm here to speak on his behalf, that he can relate that information to whatever staff member to vote on any items or express his concerns to the board.
Through you, Vice Chair.
Vice Chair Guzman.
Thank you. So one of the things that we want to clarify here is that I would like to just get another confirmation that this is the proposal that the City Council is looking at and then the mayor has endorsed, that has been proposed by Councilor Levy.
Yes, that's the proposal that I submitted, and that was endorsed by the mayor, and that was practically accepted by the members of the city council to be presented along with the proposal that was submitted by the school committee.
And with that,
I'm sorry. continue.
and through that is for the reason that I hear what the senior advisor is saying, but what we forget is that in this particular proposal, the mayor has 6 appointees, each with voting power. What we are forgetting is that the individuals within the school committee on this particular proposal have the power of electing a vice chair to represent them. And collectively, if the chair who is designated by this proposal through a charter gets to be president, the school committee decides who they want them to represent them. And if that president is not available, the vice chair who is picked by the school committee presides those meetings and acts as president or chair until the mayor comes back. So providing a designee the power essentially is yet another appointee. At that moment, are you saying that you want to remove the mayor from the school committee?
Advisor?
I would like to just make, I remember when we presented this before the city council, there was one issue that I myself brought to you before the city council and in other discussions. The way this is presented is one position from the members that are appointed, that we clearly, I clearly expressed the mayor's position that since, because we're looking at the future, we're looking at the sustainable future. Having someone that doesn't have experience in budget, I think, would not be at the, benefiting this committee. We're talking about a budget of 200 and something million, and that is a huge budget for lay people or someone that doesn't understand budget. I will ask Councilor Levy to consider that that the members, one of the members would be someone that does have knowledge and question if there's any, question that the board has that would be in juxtaposition or a different position of the superintendent, for instance.
Superintendent cannot be.
No, I mean that when they present the budget and there's discussions concerning the budget, that we can have someone that is knowledgeable of managing money. That is the only huge concern that I have, because this is something, as I mentioned during the city council meeting, there is no actual model that we can pinpoint and say, based on research, that has worked. And this is a unique position in which the city of Lawrence is. I mean, the Lawrence Public School. So we have a huge budget without having someone with the experience and, that they can clarify certain things or ask the question regarding such a huge budget.
So typically, and I'm going, so first and foremost, it wouldn't be adopted in Councilor Levy's proposal, because the purpose of this is to combine sections of both that we can agree on and propose a completely new or proposal to the city council. So in the new proposal, yes, we can definitely include someone with a financial background.
Okay.
From my experience, Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee is a little bit different, but that school committee hires a treasurer. He's actually, I believe he has a law background as well, but also has the financial background, and he's the one that oversees and talks about the numbers and the budgets and everything, and clarifies any financial questions that school committee members have. So that's another thing that, and again, like, he is a paid member of the school committee for Greater Lawrence Technical School. It could be an option for this body moving forward. And it's a person who's not elected, I mean, they're elected by the school committee. The person had to apply and stuff like that. But it can guarantee someone with a background that does not come from either parties and is just solely there for school committee financial purposes.
And that's called chief financial officer, right?
He's just called,
it
for
is
school
not
committee.
the duty of the school committee, even though in this current school committee, we have individuals that are managing millions of dollars in budgets, right, with that particular experience. But it is the administrator who we hire as the school committee to hire the individual that will manage, advise, and provide the feedback on where we should be spending those dollars, those tax-paying dollars. I understand the senior advisor's perspective, but I keep bringing back this piece of, when we look at this proposal provided by the councilwoman, there are so many sections that contradict themselves, sections that do not make sense, sections that take and provide power to other entities. It removes the power of the city council to even appoint and elect to see if it becomes vacant on the school committee. The language that the Lawrence School Committee adopted and provided, it is precise, it provides feedback, it brings back the power to the people, to the city council in multiple occasions. It ensures that in some time, we go from an elected hybrid model to a full elected body. If there's a particular request that I can make at this table, it's that we look at the Lawrence School Committee document and hear the guidance and the feedback and the non-negotiables that both the mayor and the senior advisor and the counselor would like to see.
Madam Chair.
Counselor Levy.
Okay, if you look at what is the page number 2, no number 2, I just mentioned that it's very highly recommended that the appointed membership is not be hiring. We are not hiring no one. We are appointing people. It's highly recommended that the appointed membership will include professionals from the following fields: finance, accounting, law, engineering, education, law enforcement, athletic, arts, and to make sure, to assuring that the academy advancement of the student and overall education system.
Thank you. Through you.
Committeewoman Ortiz.
And this is not in response to Counselor Levy. This is in response to the special advisor and his noted objection, concern around our elected body being of experience. I believe that the city budget is much larger than the school budget, and each and every counselor that sits at this table that I'm honored to be at this moment in time, is elected, and not elected because they are of any experience, special interest, but because they decided that they were going to represent our city, that they wanted to represent their district, and it is the democratic process. You do not have to be good enough to be here. You are qualified to be here because you were elected by the people, by the public, and this city council just recently approved a budget that was sent by the mayor, correct? This body that was elected, that is not, that are, do not hold CFOs or anything like that, because it's not a requirement for exercising your democracy. I think it's a falsehood that continues to be put forth about the school committee and its function being less than, not trustworthy. There's a bias being elevated in this democratic space.
Advisor
Madam
Spadafore.
Chair, it's about check and balances. I'm not stating that probably one of the members are not there, but it is very, like I mentioned, this is something new to the city, to the Lawrence Public Schools. Who is going to supervise the Lawrence Public Schools? And taking the same example of the budget, the city budget, you have a finance director or a CAFO, and you have audits that take place. What I want to make sure that the board, on behalf of the mayor, that if you have people that are experienced, even if you have an audit, that can, ask the necessary questions for it. It's pretty simple. We had a school under receivership for 13 years. There's funding that is always returned, given back. And we want to make sure that the funding that is being used is for the betterment of the school and benefiting the students foremost.
And through you, Vice Chair,
Vice Chair Guzman.
we want to clarify again that the school committee, right, in the role of functioning school committee, hires the superintendent. Think about the superintendent as the mayor of the school department. And then through that administration, there is a chief financial officer who does that process with a team where audits happen. And where this particular body, this school committee body, has requested the mayor and the city council to sign off for the state auditor to do an audit on Lawrence Public School System, and still today you're unable to deliver. So we are doing our due diligence and our work on that.
So going back to the financial part, to keep on track, going to Committeewoman Ortiz's point, when I chose to run for school committee for Greater Lawrence Technical School, I was 21, 22, recently graduated from college. I did not have a financial background, but I had common sense and I had a college education. Luckily, for me as a new member, we did, like I mentioned, we did have that treasurer that worked for the school committee that helped every school committee member understand the school budget and was there to assist every school committee member and the chair of the school committee with any financial questions, as well as the chief financial officer of the district, of the Greater Lawrence Technical School District. So there are ways, there are options, and other communities are already doing it, and it's been working for years. To say that a member without a financial background cannot be successful as a school committee member, I think that's inaccurate, Advisor Spanner, because I'm living proof that you can be successful without a financial background. You do need some common sense. You do need an educational background, in my opinion. And you need to ask a lot of questions and analyze and, et cetera, in order to be a successful, whether if it's a school committee, a mayor, a state legislator, or a city councilor. And that's what makes an individual successful, with the passion to serve the community. At this point, it's 6:30. We have until 6:50. I'm going to move on to the school committee to give them an opportunity to dissect a bit their proposal before
Madam Chair, I just wanted
Advisor
to make
Spanner.
sure that we express the position. And
Yep.
Councilor Levy, I did see this. That was exactly in this document of what we
Yes.
spoke, because it's not only the budget. In the past, we had issues, Madam Chair, with law enforcement as well.
Mm-hmm.
And those are concerns that we will always have in transforming and during the transition.
Right.
And it's good to have, and I agree with you, that doesn't mean, but however, there must be check and balances, and that is the position that was brought before the city council, that has been discussed with Councilor Levy, that we thought at that moment, and we were in agreement with Councilor Levy, and I'm happy that I didn't see it in the other document, but it was specified.
Yes. it's
Okay.
being specified
And
here.
to clarify for individuals watching at home, the city council as a whole has not voted nor adopted either of these proposals. What the city council did was accept the process of combining the mayor's proposal and Councilor Levy's proposal into one for this ad hoc committee to review, in addition to the school committee proposal. So I just want to make that clear. The city council has not voted on any proposal. And at this point, I'm going to pass it over to the vice chair of the Lawrence School Committee, Jonathan Guzman, and committee members to discuss their proposal.
Madam Chair, before, I would like also to clarify on something that is being always asked.
Just because of the
re-
sake of time, I would like to respect the time back to the school committee. It's only 20 minutes that we have left.
If we have time, Counselor, we'll go back to your question. Mr. Guzman.
Thank you for the time. First and foremost, the direction that this ad hoc committee received was for each member from each office to come in and come to an agreement on what should be presented to the city council as a whole, right? That could be combining both. The direction here that I think is the best, that I looking to Anna Levy, to Councilor Levy, is to withdraw her home rule petition and to adopt the language that the Lawrence School Committee has proposed, and to integrate the negotiables and non-negotiables at that document. If we go through this, which we are, the proposal that the mayor has adopted, it will, the home rule petition that the mayor has adopted, if it leaves the city, it is unfortunate what they will read as legislators. When we went through this proposal directly, we found so many sections that made no sense or provided pieces that make us question how is this better than what we have proposed. When you look at the 13 members, hybrids elected and appointed, plus one non-voting member, and the mayor equaling 14, but only having 13 voting members and one non-voting. And when you look at section 2, it also suggests that the elected student representative oversees the policies, budget, and superintendent. This is the language on this. Removing the powers from the elected school committee and giving it to a student who is a non-voting member, right? Having further language like initiating with membership of elected during the 2024 a Lawrence municipal election in accordance with the district and residencies of law, which basically is removing the elected school committee currently and going into a new system. Like if we didn't go through a whole election to be where we are right now, using particular language here too, which equals until now or until the point under discussion. This is mentioned in section 3, subsection A. All existing powers and duties here too, right? But the use of this word, do you provide an opportunity to strip at any moment the school committee of its powers? You keep looking at this particular proposal. Section 4 recommends that if you want to be a member, to run for 8 years terms, as you say, 2-4 years. I know the councilwoman has clarified that, but this is the language in the table currently. That was adopted by the executive office. Subsection C talks about the elected members convening to elect their vice chair, but it does not speak about the appointed members having the authority, and it defines it as a separate governing body, because they are not able to partake in that process, because the language is the school committee shall meet at 7 o'clock in the evening on the first circular day in January in each even number year. This message says that the elected members are elected every 2 years, so contradicting section 4. Section 4D, subsection D, says that the mayor or the designee shall serve as the chair of the Lawrence School Committee. A designee does not and should not hold a voting power. Plus, it's not provided in any of the language.
Mr. Guzman, to intersect real quick, I also just confirmed that former mayor, for example, Mike Sullivan, also when he could not attend school committee meetings, he sent his chief of staff, who was a non-voting member, to join the meetings and report back to the mayor to what would happen. So I just wanted to give an example of a later situation than the two that I personally know of, but continue, please.
When we go into section 5, it removes the power of the school committee from hiring the personnel staff, who is to us, right? Not personnel, who is the superintendent to us. Section 6 removes the power of the city council to appoint an elected seat that becomes vacant in the school committee, which is the power right now. And Section 8 removes the elected school committee members from their seat undemocratically. When you look at this entire proposal that is at the table from Councilor Ana Levy and from the mayor's office, it's an unfortunate document to read. Not only because of the concerns that I have provided, which provides us a feedback that who actually read this and thought about it, to a proposal that is being questioned if we voted on it, and if it's legally should be in front of us, from the Lawrence School Committee, who provides every single detail of process. That's why I'm asking for the counselor to withdraw her home rule petition, adopt the school committee one, and start looking at that one from that particular language, and be able to have a discussion. Because if we look at that proposal, there's so many concerns that we will take more than 2 meetings to figure out.
I want to give an opportunity to Committee Woman Edwards. You have not, if you have anything you'd like to share, any comments, I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to speak before we adjourn.
Thank you. I've been thinking since the very beginning that when we had discussed bringing in City Council, Attorney Houghton, I believe, that would be a very good idea. Now, a couple of things come to mind. The issue of secession, I am sure that is already a legally established principle, that we could probably all learn from City Council exactly what it is rather than opining here without knowing. My second issue is procedurally, I wasn't sure what we were going to be doing. Were we checking the Councilwoman Levy's suggestion and then the school committee's suggestion and merging them? Or since there were issues that arose, would we merge them and then would they go through final legal clearance? Or are we going to adopt them without going through final legal clearance? So thank you for asking, because I do have a couple of procedural questions, and that's the direction that I come from.
Thank you. Advisor Spanner.
Madam Chair, what I would like to really clarify, the mayor have not adopted anything, nothing has been adopted. So the language for that it's not correct. You know, it's a proposal. So we haven't adopted anything the city council hasn't adopted. It was a proposal that was presented.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Mr. Guzman, Vice Chair Guzman.
Thank you for clarifying that. The language used here on that was that the home rule petition written by the executive office that got brought to the city council agenda, which by the record, the school committee had no say, nor it was asked before it was put on the agenda. So when we want to talk about telling people about meetings, that's an example of how the executive office left out the school committee on this process from the beginning. When it was asked and presented by the counselor, the executive office was asked if they approve and would like to withdraw theirs to keep going with the Councilor Levy proposal. And that was adopted for the matters in the city council agenda. So that's where the adoption comes in on my language, at the city council level.
Actually, I have the minutes
Madam
here
Chair,
too.
I want to make sure
Well,
that this is clarified. There
Advisor
was no
Spanner.
adoption because it sends out a very confusing message. Nothing was adopted, it was presented to the city council, there was no vote. The recommendation was to have this ad hoc committee, and we don't like people to twist words. So if we're here with a proposal that was sent to the city council, and both of you are councilors, and know exactly that this has not been adopted by the city council. It was a proposal that was submitted by the mayor to the city council for approval, and from there, you have an ad hoc committee to discuss.
So just,
Through you, Vice Chair.
give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. So I have the unofficial meeting notes, minutes from our meeting of April 30th that, and again, these are unofficial, but I just want to read something real quick, and now I lost it because I was, what happened that day during the city council meeting, and I quote, and again, these are unofficial minutes. Councilor LaPlante then withdrew his motion and made a new motion to reject the mayor's proposal. This motion was seconded by Councilor Levy. A roll call was motioned, and it was unanimously passed. Councilor LaPlante then made a motion to amend Councilor Levy's proposal to change the composition to be a 9-member body with 5 elected members, 3 appointed members, and the mayor himself. And the 5 elected members would be at large. The rest of the terms governing that proposal would be what was contained in Councilor Levy's proposal. This was seconded by Councilor Del Rosario. And then it was something that I asked that not related to that. So just to clarify, Advisor Spanner you both have a point. The city council has not made a final vote on any proposal. However, the city council did ask the administration that night if they would be okay for us to withdraw their proposal to then continue with Councilor Levy's as the proposal of the administration as well. And that was what was voted on. Everyone agreed, and everyone agreed to it, and we moved forward.
Yeah, as a
Council.
proposal.
Through you, Vice Chair.
Guys, okay, so this is honestly, and I'm going to speak with Council President about this. I'm going to be honest, there's better things that I could be doing. There's better things that all of us could be doing. I don't see any of this from this committee, anything of this committee moving forward. We're focused on bickering, on contradicting ourselves, and this and that. Honestly, to become me as a one member of this committee, I do agree with Vice Chair Guzman. I think the language in Councilor Levy's proposal does not make sense. Some of it, I do think that the school committee proposal is more comprehensive, and it's a better base for us to, pick at, remove, add, whatever. But if we can't work together, there is absolutely no point in having this ad hoc committee. There's absolutely no point. And I'm not going to waste anyone else's time. I'm not going to waste the time of the people at home who deserve for us to be working together, because this is just getting ridiculous. So each member needs to think, are we going to move forward and actually do the work? Or are we going to continue with the drama? And if that's the case, then I will talk to the council president to eliminate this ad hoc committee.
Vice Chair Infante, may I make a suggestion, please?
Yes, Attorney Edwards.
Thank you. I'm going to suggest that perhaps we schedule one more meeting with the sole purpose of going through the school committee's document and maybe using that as the paradigm, that as the model that we would bounce other ideas off of. And I think that we should make a point each individually that is the sole reason for the meeting, and that we're not going to get involved in any other outside issues that might be boiling over, it seems.
Are you proposing that as a formal motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Properly seconded by committee member Ms. Ortiz, and I'm going to do a roll. Maria, can we do a discussion? Sorry, Mr. Guzman.
I want clarification on that motion. The motion that the committee woman has mentioned is that this ad hoc committee on a second meeting will take on the language of the Lawrence School Committee. Does that mean that this ad hoc committee is going to adopt the Lawrence School Committee as the language that we're going to take?
Maria, the motion is.
And if not, I would like to do a friendly amendment to that. That committee, that motion is to adopt the Lawrence School Committee language
As the foundation.
as the foundation of the discussion for the next meeting, to come to a comprehensive analysis and understanding to send up to the City Council.
Madam Chair,
Councilor Levy.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to drop this proposal at this point. I'm going to continue with this.
There's a motion on the floor, and there was an amendment.
that is for
And the
discussion.
councilor and the committee woman has not adopted it.
No proposal has been adopted right now.
Attorney, committee woman, I don't know how do you want me to address you, because you're both.
Either one is fine, thank you.
I feel like it's more official with attorney. Attorney Edwards, would you consider adopting Mr. Guzman's amendment?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So now, with the amendment, the motion is, and then we're going to go back to discussion. The motion is to adopt the school committee language as the foundation for the purpose of discussion, to then combine or look through, add or subtract language or processes, and just make this into something that we can all agree on moving forward. This is not saying that we are actually adopting this as is. This is saying that we're going to use this language as a starting point to then look through and see what should be included, what should be taken out, etc., instead of having two proposals. Maria, do you have that motion? Thank you. Councilor Levy? You
I'm
still
not
have
going-
the floor.
Yes. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to drop this proposal. We're going to first to look, and I think so that the point of this meeting was to get some kind of consent and just to talk and see, to get a middle point, okay, on what we're going to take it from one and what we are going to take it from the other one, without not making any adoption like we're talking in here right now. So at this point, I'm not dropping, and I do not support whatever is the motion at this moment.
Unfortunately, this committee cannot work together. Let's be real. I mean, this is being live streamed. We are not working together. We're not coming to any senses. We're not agreeing on anything. So it's just
I move to
making
do the call.
Mr. Guzman, it is just making things more difficult to have two proposals. And Councilor Levy, if there's anything in particular in your proposal that you believe should stay on, we can add that to the foundational proposal. We're not saying that this is the proposal. We're saying we need
That is what
something.
I thought that we're going to be here, just to take it whatever is on the proposal for the school committee and whatever it is in the proposal that is being submitted by Councilor Ana Levy, like we mentioned, and that was supported at that point by the administration.
I asked for the
Okay.
roll call.
We're still in discussion, and I am the chair of this committee, Mr. Guzman. Remember that, please. Advisor Spanner.
Very short, provided that we got clarification from the city attorney on procedure.
Okay. Maria, can you do a roll call, please?
No.
Votes aye?
What was that?
She voted aye.
Oh, I heard roll tie.
Yes.
Yes.
No?
Yes. Motion carries. So for the next meeting, we are over time. The next meeting, we are going to work off of the school committee proposal. Again, come prepared with Advisor Spanner. Please speak to the mayor if there's anything in particular the mayor wants to make sure that we discuss at this level. Same thing with Councilor Levy and the school committee members. Please come prepared to work, because next time, I'm not going to entertain this for an hour and a half. I'm going to call the meeting. Either we're here to work, or we're not doing this at all. And I will make sure, and the state delegation is looking at this, just so you guys know. We've been getting questions. So if we cannot work together, imagine how our school system is going to be in the future. It's not about us. If the mayor, for example, if our current mayor gets reelected, that's only going to be for 4 more years. And after that, majority of the people are going to be retired. It's about me, and I'm not like, I'm saying, my future kids and stuff like that, and because I'm not in school right now either. So And it's about, like, for example, Mr. Guzman's future generations too. Like, this is the work that we're doing right now. And I want every single member of this committee to remember that. It's not about anything else. So either come prepared to work, or I am adjourning this meeting. We're not gonna waste another hour and a half.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it.
Thank you.
Yes. Huh? Chilo, almost month. I mean, if it doesn't work, doesn't work. We have the item here. Okay. Are you ready here? Good. Good evening and welcome to the Lawrence regular meeting for the City Council. Today is Wednesday, August 7, 2024. This meeting was changed, the day was changed due to the National Night Out that was celebrated last night. Thank you all that participate on the National Night Out. Thank you to the organizers, to the neighborhood associations that took part and help out during this specific event. This is a great event for the city of Lawrence to get people together and to help out the community between the law enforcement and the people, the regular people. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person and at the City Council chambers, remotely as well. The Zoom link for this meeting was provided to anybody that requested through the city clerk. This meeting of the Lawrence City Council is transmitted live through Facebook as well as YouTube at the Lawrence City Council YouTube page and at the Lawrence City Council Facebook page. Madam Claire, roll call, please.
Councilor Levy.
Present.
Councilor LaPlante.
Present.
Councilor Luzon.
Present.
Councilor Del Rosario is noted as absent. Councilor Santiago.
Present.
Councilor Marmol.
Present.
Councilor Reyes.
Present.
Vice President Infante.
Present.
Council President Rodriguez.
Present. Please join me for a moment of silence. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilors, we have a minute to be approved. Those minutes corresponds to July 2nd, 2024. Can I get a motion to accept this minute as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It has been The motion to approve is on the table, properly second. Any objection to this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we're going to proceed with public participation. The list was available for anybody that wanted to speak for 2.5 minutes, and we have 4 people that have signed up. The rules are as follow. You have 2.5 minutes to refer to the council as a whole, to bring anything, any concerns related to the city or anything else. At the 2 minutes mark, you're going to hear it sounds that is going to tell you that 2 minutes already passed. From that, you have 30 seconds to complete your comments. With that said, we're going to proceed with the public participation. The first person we have on the list is H. Mali. Name and address for the record. Refer to the council as a whole, not to any individual councilors.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. We, the citizen, thankful of this honorable council and honorable Mayor Brian De Pena for making history by granting contract for Lawrence Police Officers Union. Lawrence Police, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Chief Bonilla, doing excellent job to protect our citizens. We support Lawrence Police Officers Union, Seniors Officers Union. Million thanks to our DPW workers for making Lawrence a beautiful city. We support our DPW union and leadership. Lawrence Inspection Department, thank you for excellent job. We support Lawrence Inspection Department, union and leadership. We must hire more inspectors. Lawrence Public School, with the impeccable leadership by Honorable Ralph Guerrero, moving forward. Lawrence teachers, thank you for excellent job. We support Lawrence Teachers Union. Please bring food and donation every Wednesday to Buckley Garage to help our homeless. We demand the best contract for our awesome firefighters with 3% COLA raise and hazard pay. Lawrence always strong. Lawrence always unite. Lawrence one city under God. We are proud to support Lawrence Police Union. We pray for the safety of all police officers endangering their life every day. Lawrence Police Officer, thank you for working so hard to make Lawrence a safe city. We stand united in support of Lawrence Police Union, and thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have on the list is Brenda Rossi. Name and address for the record, please.
Brenda Rossi, 127 Chester Street. First of all, I want to say National Night Out was a success. Kids had a blast. Everyone, all the pictures I've seen has been great. The one thing I looked up, National Night Out, is for the community to honor the police and the fire. And the one thing I noticed that a lot of people weren't thanking our policemen or thanking our firefighters for everything they do every day of the week. The minute they put on the uniform, they are out there protecting us. So I personally want to say thank you to the Lawrence Fire Department and thank you to the Lawrence Police Department for everything you do for our city. And also and thank all the people who donated to all the National Nights Out. Thank you for helping us all out. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have on the list is Donald Silva. Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you to be here. I'm here to represent the veterans of the city of Lawrence. And one of the things that we have really come up with is a question as to the dedication of the Mark Devlin Field to David Ortiz Field, okay? I would ask you to postpone this for the simple reason, not enough information has been given to you regarding Mark Devlin. And what you didn't know, that Mark Devlin is a World War I veteran and also part of being there as a school in Lawrence High School. He was a coach in basketball, baseball, football. He also went to Holy Cross, which he moved out to St. Angelo in the Midwest. Upon completing college, that's when he went into the service. And that was in World War I. Upon release of active duty, one of the greatest athletes of all time recruited him to play in the professional football league called the Canton Bulldogs. That professional who recruited him was the only American Indian who ever won a gold medal at the Olympics. And you know who his name was, right? He went on to play with him at the Bulldogs and several other teams. Upon that, he finished there and went back to the college to be the coach. But his calling was here in Lawrence. And he came to Lawrence in 1923 as a teacher coach. And he turned out his whole system until 1973 when he died. He lived, he worked, and he sacrificed everything for the city of Lawrence. Now, all those names that you see on the World War II monument and the Korean War monument, and some even on the
Thank you so
Vietnam
much.
monument, all these students went through his round.
Thank you, Mr. Silva.
Okay? So I would like you to postpone the vote on this and make this the Mark Devlin complex with the David Ortiz field.
Thank you so much, Mr. Donald Silva. The next person that we have on the list is Councilor Russell, Richard Russell.
Good evening, councilors. My name is Richard Russell, residing at 34 Cross Street. I hope everyone had an enjoyable evening at their local National Night Out celebration. I, as an unwounded veteran, must take the city to task for not notifying the public about any sort of flag-raising ceremony in the city for the National Purple Heart Day today. The flag is up. I looked, it's up. I don't know when it was put up. I don't know if there's any ceremony, but it's a disgrace that we, the citizens, and the veterans were not notified about it. I guess some of the important city officials must have been busy doing some sort of important city business. As I look at tonight's agenda, I see the topic of childcare parking will be addressed. I have several concerns about these signs. First, are these applicants, are these applicants required to have any sort of state or city certifications to be childcare centers? As a profit-making business, will they be required to pay any of the costs relative to the cost of publishing the ad for these public hearings? Didn't the city council last year try to get some sort of ordinance passed to have money-making businesses pay a portion of the cost of the ads? I wonder whatever happened to that agenda item, 33723. Didn't that agenda item get sent to the third floor for further study? In most cases, items get buried in a hole in the ground. Around City Hall, legislative items get buried by sending them to the third floor for further study. Also, why should the city bear the cost of these signs? Lastly, why didn't the repaving of Haverhill Street continue to the Methuen line? I could continue on with minor issues, but in the interest of keeping this meeting short, I will keep my comments likewise. I appreciate the time to address you. Thank you.
This is the last person. All these names are going to be submitted for the record. Thank you all that participated at the public participation. Pursuant to the top of the agenda, we have no public hearing for tonight. Communication from the mayor, city officials, city attorney, there is none. Committee report, we go straight forward to the Budget and Finance Committee. Madam Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee reports for item 36024.
Thank you, Council President. The Budget and Finance Committee met last week, and the first item we had was item 360-24, the authorization to expend grant funds in the amount of $250,000 for the Safe Streets and Roads for All U.S. Department of Transportation grants, and that was brought to us by Ms. Reyes, who is a city grant. And this was sent up as a favorable recommendation. And I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table to accept, to be able to spend the grant for the amount of $250,000. It's been properly second discussion. Madam Chair, from the Budget and Finance, do you mind giving us a little bit of what is this about, or you want to call the person that might? Yeah, she's here.
I will call up Ms. Reyes if I don't. Oh, I didn't see her.
Because the
Yes.
intent is to do a story. Do you have it? Do you have?
Good evening, councilors. Thank you for having me. My name is Ilealis Reyes. Hello.
And just name and address for the record, and give us a little the insight of this grant,
Yes.
or the potential grant.
360 Merrimack Street. Yes, so the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant is a grant through the U.S. Department of Transportation, where we will use these funds to create a planning grant. It's a comprehensive action plan for the entire city of Lawrence. The goal is to have a company come and do an assessment of the entire city and identify what they call the high injury networks. So, with that said, they will identify the areas that have the highest fatalities, the highest crashes, conduct an entire plan, and then, let's say within that plan, they identify X amount of intersections. Okay, this intersection is gonna need a stop sign. This other intersection is gonna need upgrades in the infrastructure. This other intersection is gonna need X, Y, Z. I'm not an engineer, so I wouldn't know what it would say, but the plan is to create that, to have that comprehensive plan that'll put us at the front lines to apply for the following round of the implementation. And then after we have once we have the plan, we submit for the implementation grant, and that's where we can get the funds to implement what the plan has recommended. As I mentioned in the previous committee, Springfield received $15 million after submitting their plan, and so the hope is that this grant can potentially get us something around that, depending on what the plan reveals for the city of Lawrence.
All right, councilors, any questions in regard to this specific item? I hear none, so at this point I call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Ms.
much.
Reyes.
Have a good evening.
All right, Madam Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee, item 36124.
Thank you, Council President. Item 361-24 is the approval of a 5-year contract between Lawrence Police Department and Axon Enterprises, and the committee sent this up as a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table, properly second, discussion. I hear none. Any discussion? She's here, Rose Chopper's here.
Rosa?
Chopper's here.
Can I bring up the Director Shepherd to tell you a little bit more about this contract?
Good evening, City Council. My name is Rosa Shepard, Director of Support Services at Lawrence Police Department.
Just give us an update as of what is this, so the other councilors also understand what we discussed at the Budget and Finance.
Sure. The contract for the 5-year contract that we're asking for the City Council to authorize is to upgrade the iCloud system at the Lawrence Police Department. As of right now, unfortunately, we are spending extra money to ask for more storage. As you know, there's a lot of data that needs to be saved in the system, and unfortunately, the city, the data that the system the city has is not doesn't have enough space. So we continually every 6 months to 1 year to keep buying more space. With this, the new system, which is the iCloud system, we're going to be able to store as much data as possible. And even if the contract ended, we own the rights and the property of whatever is in the system.
So essentially, the city council is being asked to allow the city attorney or the administration to sign a contract passing the 3 years for the intent of going into a system related to data storage. And that's going to be, we're going to move forward to the cloud system that is going to be storage on a cloud. So any questions in regarding to this? All right, with that said, I'll call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Discussion, Councilor LaPlante?
I just want to thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry about the delay, so appreciate the courtesy. This is also in the field of our information technology director and his staff. I didn't hear anything in your presentation tonight, through you, Mr. President, that the IT director was at all involved in this, and I just wanted to make, is the police department in a silo dealing with things unilaterally, by itself, or is it also working with the IT department when we're talking about things such as storage space for information?
No, we definitely, we've been working with the city IT department, but eventually this system is just going to be part of the Lawrence Police Department. It's not going to be part of the city itself.
I'm probably going to support this tonight, but I would feel a lot better supporting it, knowing that the IT director and his team, who are experts on data security, et cetera, has had a chance to review and understand and say, yeah, this is a fantastic contract, it's a good price, and yeah, this is the way we go. But I'm not hearing that. Can you vouch for that at all? Is he on board on this? Because he's not here tonight, obviously.
Yes, we are on board from Mark Anello to the to our own inside IT department, and the company that we're looking to, which is part of the state contract, is a well-recognized company that has been used around the United States at the same time. So they work with the iCloud system as well. They oversee the body cameras for some of the police officers within the United States.
Did I just, through you, Mr. President, did I just hear you say that there's going to be body cameras that are going to be as part of this?
No, the company itself, they work with the body-worn cameras within the United States. It's a well-recognized company, and have a state contract, as well as the government contract as well, this company.
Yes, what she's saying basically is capable of receiving that if we decide to go that route. And that was a question that it was asked, if the IT department was on board. And reiterating of what Councilor LaPlante was saying, I personally would I want to make sure the IT department is, even though they're not going to administrate it, but they are aware of how the system functions.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes, they are well aware of the company and the functions as well.
Are they going to be able to, in case something happens, be able to assist the city of Lawrence, not the city of Lawrence, perhaps elected officials and so on this system in case that we ask for an update?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, they're going to be part of it. The IT department is going to be part of it. So any questions in regard to these councilors? All right, at this point, I'll call the questions to extend the contract from 3 years to 5 years for these potential services. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 36224, Madam Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you. Item 362-24 is the authorization to expend funds in the amount of $761,182 Fiscal Year 2025 Safe and Successful Youth Initiative, SSYI grants, and was brought to us by Director Shepherd. The committee voted in favor of it, and I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table. Can I hear a second? Second. Properly second. Any questions in regard to this?
Discussion.
Discussion, Councilor LaPlante.
In the future, through you, Mr. President, I think it would be helpful as part of the packet, and this may have been discussed at the Budget Committee meeting, but just have the list of the identified contractees, the folks that are going to be receiving the funds, so we have an idea, or at least I would have an idea of where that money is going for the grants. Because you've got several, I believe, several contractors or vendors that the money would be going to, if I understand this grant correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, so far this year, we have presented with one vendor, which is SISU, the SISU Center. Right? Only one vendor, right?
I'm sorry?
Only one vendor.
I'm sorry.
Only one vendor.
Only one vendor, which is Axon
Which is-
Enterprise.
What?
No, it's us.
Only one vendor, yes.
Is it a SISU Center?
Are we going back to the, I'm sorry.
No, we're talking about the 761,000.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, just only one vendor, yeah.
And that is the SISU.
Yes, that is correct.
Council
My
President.
apologies, yes.
Madam Chair?
Thank you. And I would like to add, just for the councilor's knowledge, we did have the executive director of CSU present at the Budget and Finance Committee, and he went through how this grant has previously helped the program and what they're looking to do with the funding in the future.
Yep. Any questions in regard to, and related to this? At this point, I call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 36324, Madam Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee.
Thank you. Item 363-24 is the authorization to expend grant funds in the amount of $61,250 for, as an additional SSYI grant fund, which is, sorry, I'm getting
Yes,
confused with the parentheses. I'm going to skip over that so Ms. Shepherd could. The committee voted in favor of this, and I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table. Can I hear a second? Properly second. Any questions? Any clarification on the extras?
On this one, the state, besides offering the $761,000 for FY25, they are able to extend do a contract amendment for another $32,500.
And 28,750.
Yes.
All right, and there is an additional 61,250,000 for the previous grant that we just discussed. Any questions in regarding to this? I hear none, so at this point I call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have the Housing Committee, Madam Chair, from the Housing Committee. Item 35924.
Through you, Council President, item number 35924, the grant of utility easement at Lawrence Municipal Airport to run with lease of four aviation hangars. We do have our airport manager, Francisco Ureña, to speak on behalf of this item, but it was brought to full council with a favorable recommendation, and I submit that to you in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have did you present that as a form of a motion? Can I hear a second? Properly second. Discussions on this. All right, we're going to allow you to, the director from the airport or the manager from the airport, allow us to give us an update on this matter. Thank you.
Francisco Urena, 492 Sun Street, your Lawrence Municipal Airport. There's a tenant of the airport who has a lease, is looking for an easement to be able to bring some utilities to some future development of four hangars, a hangar complex, if you will. That information was brought before that housing committee and in that packet, and if you have any other questions, happy to answer tonight.
All right, any questions in regarding to this? This is a utility easement, right?
Correct, yes.
So utility easement allowing utilities to go through other properties around the airport.
Correct. Other leases and also general aspects, we will be filing, the tenant will be filing with the
Register of deeds?
Registry of Deeds to be able to place that on file.
All right, any questions in regarding to this? I hear none, so at this point I'll call the questions. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we're gonna go to the Budget and Finance, Mr. Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 32224. Oh, sorry, Ordinance Committee. Councilor Plant, the Chair of the Ordinance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Document number 32224, the Chico Summer Shootout on August 23rd, 2024, was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and to make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Councilor Plant.
Thank you. Is Ms. Caraballo here this evening? You're here for the organization? Thank you. So
So, do I just speak?
Name and address for the
Okay,
record.
perfect. I'm not Miss Carabello, I'm her daughter. My name's Anita Delgado, 31 Sargent Street.
Thank you.
Councilor Blanc?
So what this is there's a basketball tournament that has been taking place on Friday nights.
Yes.
This is something in addition to the basketball tournaments. They're not coming before the city council for the basketball tournaments. They are strictly coming here for an event that gives backpack for kids and looking to use O'Neill Park for that purpose. I have no objections, and I'm looking forward to supporting this evening. However, Council President, I just think it's important that I provide a voice on the things that I've been hearing with respect to this, and let the organizers be aware through you that I have some concerns with the tournament itself. That's not a surprise, because I know that the organizers have been working with the city officials, recreation, and police department to try to find a way to make this a very safe, family-friendly event. But my concern is that it was rained out last Friday, so we haven't had a chance to see the new implementation of the new procedures. This weekend looks like it's going to go, and this is going to be our first opportunity to see what's happening. I don't want to go into a lot of details, except to say, no, this has no direct relation to the individuals who are playing or the individuals who are the organizers, but rather the individuals who may be coming to watch that, who think that this might be an opportunity to do things that that will require police resources to maintain safety.
All right.
I'll leave it at that.
Point well taken.
So,
Your concern about it, about what might happen?
Yeah, so I was going to finish my thought, which is this. I just want that this be made known out loud that I've got concerns. I got concerns for the people in my district when police resources are being used beyond the expected police department resources for the evening. That's going to keep a sector such as mine, and I would venture to say others, without the kind of resources, police resources, that the residents that I represent come to expect and require when they make a phone call or an alert. So I'm hopeful that this weekend is the first of maybe 5 or 6 more works without any problems. That is my sincere hope. There's a lot to be proud of. When you have amazing athletes coming here and choosing our city to be a place to showcase their skills and talents, we should be proud of that. But we also have a responsibility as well to maintain safety throughout the entire process. And frankly, that's number one. The other stuff is number 2. The first idea is public safety. So I just wanted to make sure I was on the record for saying that, Council President.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. So it's in relation to the item. Council
President.
No, this is just a comment. Right. Councilor Santiago.
I have the comment about the Chico Summers. I support this organization is non-profit organization. They don't receive any monetary anything about, and they do it free, and they do it for our young kids, and this is the organization we need more than the, and I would like to express the issues that happen is not with their player, is the other constituent, and those happen after their activity as well. And I support the summer, and I think they do a good job.
Thank you.
Council President.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you, and I'll try to keep this brief, but I just want to say that it was refreshing to hear the district councilor of where this event takes place. I have your mom on social media, so I've read her frustrations and her frustration around people blaming the actual organization for things that are occurring. But I also want to thank the district councilor for, doing his job as a counselor, making everyone aware that public safety is first, but also honoring the work that you guys have been doing, because both ends, it's no secret to the public. One, you guys are doing great, but there's also issues that don't involve you guys. So I think it was very nice to hear the way that Councilor LaPlante put that together.
All right, the event happened on Fridays at District B, which is right at the O'Neill, and on Sundays on District F, which is at the O'Connor Park. Councilor Luzon.
And I understand, through you, Council President, I understand the concern, but we also aware that, as the Councilor LaPlante mentioned, that incidents that it has nothing to do with the tournament itself. I personally support this event. I've been supporting this event for years, since last year, and I think what they do in the community is needed, and it's good for the youth to have this type of event. I would love to see more police present, but I also understand that the organization doesn't have the need to pay for it. They don't have the money. They fundraise every week to have this tournament put together. So it's done on a weekly basis. So hopefully if we can, and I know that Niels have been talking to the mayor's office and the police department, it will be nice to see a collaboration between the police department, and we know that they receive funds to sponsor other events. Hopefully, if we can find a way to make this collaboration and or bring this collaboration into some of the funds that the police department is receiving to put together to sponsor basketball events, etc. So that's just an idea, and I want to put it out there. But I do appreciate, as a resident, as a city councilor, what you do, and hopefully we can find a way to make this tournament more safe. And thank you for what you do for the community.
Yeah, and I just wanna just reiterate some of the councilors' concerns. Yes, safety is the first priority, but if you love basketball, you gotta show up, because that's a tough basketball tournament. Which is, if you love basketball, street basketball, that's the place to go. I enjoy it. I went over. I definitely enjoy basketball. I was inside the court, enjoying it. Every place, those kids play basketball for real. And having those kids come to Lawrence to play what it was a traditional culture event in New York back in the 90s and the 2000s, and probably before that. It's a culture event that for people that love basketball, and I definitely enjoy it. So thank you for bringing that type of experience to the city of Lawrence. Obviously, we have kids that are trying to make names for themselves sometime, and not necessarily trying to do good. We need to recognize those and help out, so we can actually make sure that they don't do bad things for the organization and the event itself. So thank you for doing what you're doing. I'm definitely going to be there again, not playing, but looking at the basketball players. Those 6'8", 6'7" foot kids, crazy tall, but I love it. So thank you so much, for real. It's a concern that people have, is that an opinion has been expressed. You don't have to respond to any, because we know that you have a plan to be implemented, and I hope that everything goes well. So thank you.
I just want to express
Sure.
my thank you. My name is Marissa Melendez. I'm 11 Court Street, Methuen, born and raised in Lawrence. But I want to commend Lieutenant Jay Cirillo, Chief Bonilla, and the city. When this league started 2 years ago, we had local teams. But we started getting contacts from high school teams in Chelsea, in Boston, in Brockton, who, North Shore, Lowell. So they wanted to play here because they heard what the league's about. So we have high school teams coming from all those different cities. We have college hoop guys. You see those 6'7", 6'8"? A lot of those players play different colleges in New England, and they come to the city to play. So as it started growing, yes, we encountered crowds showing up. But what we've also done is working with Lieutenant Jay and the chief is that we've implemented methods to control our fans and our players. We control the basketball court. People on the outside, there are gangs that hang out in the O'Connell. We can't control that. You go on a Tuesday night, those same kids are there. They don't just go on Friday night, they're there. And you see them on their bikes, you see them with the ski mask, very scary. So what we've done is, you said it, we don't have the money to pay. Every week we have to raise the money to pay the referees and all that. We're not a nonprofit yet. We're looking into that. But right now, it's a week by week that we raise the money. So when Lieutenant Jay said, I would like to see 4 or 5 police officers doing a detail, we have to pay these details. Minimum $360 each. 5 of them, you're talking $1,600, $1,700. It's hard enough to raise the referees' money. Never mind that. So we're using our own safety people. They can identify us. We tell them the color T-shirts we're going to be wearing, whether it's hot pink, lime green, bright yellow. We're no longer wearing white, so they can identify. So if they have to come to the park because there's an incident going on outside the basketball court, they can identify. They're also using those vans with the video cameras, because by putting that can prevent people from doing things. It can scare tactic. But we also have to remember that this city is a densely populated city with too many cars in the city. So we were told that the traffic gets congested. Traffic is congested anytime in the city now. With 80,000 cars in the city, anytime you're going to find traffic congestion. You're going to cross to South Lawrence, it takes you half an hour, because that's what the city's about. So he says, double parking. Send a tow truck, start towing those cars, and you'll see they won't double park. But we are working very tightly with them. We commend them because they're trying to support us. They're trying to provide the police support where it's needed, whether it's in your district, whether it's another district, whether it's a community activity. They're trying hard, but they have limited resources too. The community policing only has a day shift. They can't work nights. So we recognize that, because that's the first thing we said, send the community police. We don't have anybody at night. So the fact that they have to take from one neighborhood to cover another neighborhood, it's not because of the crowds we have, it's because of the limited resources that the police department has. So we have to take that into consideration. But please let it know publicly that Chico's Summer Shootout is very grateful to the support we're getting from the police, from the city of mayor's office, and from everybody who comes out and watches the game. Thank you.
No, thank you. All this time I'll call the questions for that event that is going to happen on August 23rd, 2024. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chair from the Budget and Finance Committee, item 33424.
Thank you. Document that.
Ordinance Committee. Sorry about that.
This document number 33424 is the naming of the South Lawrence Athletic Fields as the David Ortiz Athletic Complex. That was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation. I make that in the form of a motion.
There is a motion on the table Properly second.
Discussion.
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 Hi.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you. I just want to clarify something earlier by one of the speakers, Council President. These fields are behind the South Lawrence East field. The Devlin field, Devlin, is at the high school. So it's a completely different area. I have
That's what I was saying.
every amount of respect that we should never move an individual's names. We've already named something. So I'm happy to report that this proposal does not impact Mark Devlin Field, and that remains. We might be able to spruce it up, Mark Devlin Field. We might be able to have better signage. We might be able to do other things to make sure that this individual who did some amazing things back 100 years ago, 80, 90 years ago now, is remembered properly, but that's not a concern.
Just to piggyback on what you're saying, Councilor LaPlante, like a month and a half ago, before this proposal was brought up to us, I actually saw the little plaque at the Lawrence High School. I took a picture because I was concerned that it was so little that people were not able to read it. My son was playing there, and I took a picture when I was approached to actually dedicate the Lawrence High School field. I was like, no, I have a picture of the previous owner person that was dedicated to. So please go over there, take a look at what it is. And they went over and find it, and then move it to the South Lawrence East. So when the previous comments here in public participation come up today, I was asking myself, like, if we were talking about the same field, but obviously you just clarified it. Thank you for clarifying it.
Comments, but someone from the administration is here. I know my colleague also has a comment to make, and I want to reserve my final comments last, Council President.
Councilor Luzon?
Thank you, Council President. I was going to ask the same question based on the constituent concerned. But I mean, Mr. Councilor LaPlante answered my question.
No problem.
Thank you.
Let's expand the opportunity to the Deputy Chief that is here with us today. So,
good evening, councilors. Thank you for having me here. I just
name and address for the record. Ada
Santana, sorry, DPW Acting Deputy Director. I'm just here just in case you have any questions. We mentioned the mayor and Councilor LaPlante is sponsoring, as well as the superintendent, and it's just to influence our youth and the community to be more involved in sports and just inspiring our youth to continue to be more. Sports, it's something that would show them to be team players, to be in leadership and discipline. So we just want to continue to influence that within the community.
Council President.
And councilors, it is important to recognize some of the comments that were brought up to the councilors. By honoring this person, what this person have done for the city of Lawrence, it have done way beyond our borders. The impact that this person have to the youth, to the world when it comes to baseball, it is a tremendous, and I'm happy and glad that we're doing this at the city of Lawrence.
Thank you.
Council President.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I have a question pertaining to the individual himself, the legend, David Ortiz. I believe he has a foundation or works with a foundation. Is there any requirement that the city is implementing with him to either donate towards our school department to ensure that these fields are great, or a program? Is there any relationship or goal within Mr. David Ortiz and the city of Lawrence in order for him to get something named after him?
One of the goals is sometimes one of the things that comes up is what he's done for the city, and as President Consular stated. He's an influence. And one of the questions that is asked, what he's done. But sometimes people cannot do unless you go to them and ask for help. So this is one of the reasons why we are bringing him here, for him to provide that help that some of our youth will need. He does have a foundation, it's a healthcare foundation, and unless we knock that door and say, we need that help, they don't know who needs the help. So that's the reason why we're trying to also influence our youth and know, and bring him to Lawrence in order to get those helps from him.
Thank you. But has there been any conversation with him and his team regarding, like, are we asking him, for example, to provide a baseball scholarship for one of our students? Like, and I'm talking because when the whole Nicky Jam thing happened, the city of Lawrence gave him a list of promises or requirements, including providing a yearly scholarship for a student to attend Berkeley College or school educational institution, providing a donation for instruments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm asking, what else? I mean, it's great that we're naming something after him, and I understand the impact and the role model that he is, but what are we going to do to continue for him to provide or give back to the community to ensure that this naming of a field actually means something to our kids and our community?
I'm sure that conversation has been on the table with them. I'm imagining that that's something that they're working on. I don't have the full information to provide you, I apologize, but if you would like, I can follow up and definitely give you that information.
Thank you, I would love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other councilors?
Yeah.
Councilor Santiago.
There with this conversation was talking with my colleague, Consul Infante. I would like to know what benefit the city of Lawrence will receive with this
Naming?
with this name, give it the name for the place, for the David Ortiz place. If we give it the name, what we supposed to receive? Our city, what they supposed to receive? We don't have to do anything to ask something after we made the vote, because it is the conversation on the table. But how we can ask him after we gave the name? That's I would like to know before the vote.
That's something that you're gonna bring it up as sentence as Councilor Infante. All right, Councilor Reyes.
Through you, Mr. President, I love the project, I love the idea, because when we bring the role model for our youth, for our children, it's really important to us, for they connecting name and face. It's very important to do that. It's amazing to start into having the discussion, started the conversation, what they can bring to our community, to our youth. I think we be a good starting. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Council President.
Councilor Alonso.
Just to make it clear, it's good to have this type of project, and I think the idea is to create a relationship with Mr. Ortiz. But my understanding that he foundation works with is a health care foundation. And I know that for a fact that he had helped families from Lawrence. That I know. Mm-hmm. Also, Mr. Ortiz, just for the record, he had never lived in Lawrence. And we know that he's a great baseball player, not a great role model, just to put it out there, a great baseball player, and we are grateful for that. So saying the connection with this community, I'm assuming is because the Dominicans and the Red Sox fans, I'm assuming. But Mr. Ortiz doesn't have any connection with the city, as he had never lived here, is my understanding. Just to make things clear, listening to my colleagues' comments. But it will be great to have before, I'm assuming the department have this conversation with his foundation. to know what will the city, the plan, like the future plan after we name this park after him. And I know for the baseball player, this is going to be great. I'm not a baseball fan. I'm not. But for the people that love baseball, this is going to be great. But it will be good to know what is the city is going to gain after we name this park after him. Is the Rexos Foundation part of this, or this is two separate?
No,
The Red Sox Foundation, are they involved?
I believe they are involved, and they will be here at the naming.
Yeah, I mentioned the Red Sox Foundation because they are already here, they are present at the Howard Park, they're there for every opening, and they also sponsor softball leagues. They're doing a great job in the city. They also are involved in the maintenance of the Howard Park. So hopefully, what we are getting from the Red Sox Foundation, it's something that hopefully we can get from David Ortiz Foundation.
No, and Councilor, it is important to recognize the following. Having this type of relationship, that's what's going to bring up the difference. We didn't have a great relationship with the Red Sox Foundation before. I remember that former Councilor Mayor Dan Rivera.
Council President.
He was building up that relationship for quite some time, and that allowed us to actually get to this point where we are with the Red Sox Foundation.
Council President.
Councilor Blanc.
Just a reminder, under our Rule 4.
Yep.
This is not the first time tonight about expressing opinions. I would just ask the Council President to be more mindful of Rule 4 and not express opinions.
Can you read
Can you read
sure.
it? Sure. The opinion, the
Because I'm
paragraph-
not expressing my opinion, I'm following up with the conversation that I have with the councilors.
The paragraph that's cited is this: the President may express his opinion on any subject under debate only by leaving the chair, and in such cases he shall not resume the chair until the question is pending, provided the same is taken previous to adjournment.
Yeah. That's when you express your
The
opinion,
presiding
Councilor.
officer, however, may state facts and give opinions on questions of order without leaving his place.
Thank you so much. Well, point well taken. I was not expressing my opinion. I'm going to keep on talking because the conversation is through the Council President. Councilor Mamo.
Just listening to everybody's point of view, I want to make sure that we are mindful that every time we make a decision that we're not always thinking about what we're gaining out of it. Because I'm pretty sure that there's so many parks and facilities here in the city that are named after people, and it's because of the impact that they have made in the city or the impact that it will create in the future. So it's not necessarily what the city has gained from that person that they had decided to name the park for. So that's just something I want to make sure that we're mindful of. I feel like there's certain things where we should take into consideration as to, what the city will be getting out of it. But then there's certain things where we shouldn't put monetary on, we shouldn't be putting things monetary on every single item that comes before us. So again, just to briefly reiterate, my point of view is that this specific naming, I see it as creating a positive impact and influence for the young generation of baseball players and the young kids that will be excited and motivated, and just naming the park itself, that's the impact and the influence, and that's what the city is gaining. So I feel like sometimes we need to see the gain as not as monetary, but as what it would potentially spark in our future generation of kids that are playing baseball in that field.
Thank you.
President.
Thank you, Councilor Malmore, for bringing this point of view. Councilor Levy.
regardless, is practically something that I will not mention because I don't want people to think because I'm Dominican. Dominican people like baseball. You know, there are somebody like the sport or the football, but we as a Dominican, we like baseball, and this is something that is going to bring some for our. We are a baseball player, and that's what we have. So this is the plus for the city. I hope that we can name the park on his name, and I know that he's going to bring a lot of pride for the community.
Thank you.
Council President.
Councilor Levy, are you escogidista? ¿Are you escogidista?
Yo soy escogidita.
Yo soy aguilucho.
When escogido lost, and aguilucho.
Councilor Esfersen Infante.
Thank you, through you, Council President. I want to clarify because all of these questions started because of my comments and my questions. I want to clarify the reason why, and I know I said it a little bit earlier, but when it took me a year and a half to work with the Nicky Jam team and the Latin Grammys Foundation to bring what we have brought, and we're still to this day working on that initiative. And one of the first things that I was asked by the administration is, well, what is he going to provide? What's the benefit of this? What is he going to give to us? And the reason why I'm asking perhaps even a scholarship, a baseball scholarship for a student of the city of Lawrence, because, for example, I don't know if you guys probably do remember Leon Paulino, who was recruited by the Boston Red Sox as a high schooler. He was a little kid from the Frost. I remember him coming to my house, playing with my sisters. Like, he's actually visiting this week from Florida, and we were hanging out with him Saturday. So I know that there's great potential, and I understand that just having a name after David Ortiz is amazing. But also having his impact and his mentorship will be impactful throughout the years for our youth. So that's why I'm asking, well, that's great that we're going to have this, but how else are we going to get him involved with our youth?
And Councilor, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. The administration have those conversations throughout, because I'm pretty sure that's the intent, having an impact of somebody like him.
May I also add something?
Sure.
I went to the Frost too. I went to that school, and sometimes the influence and the impact and the mentorship is not necessarily being there, but knowing that you're playing in a field that it's under that person's name. Sometimes, I used to want to be like a dancer, and look at me where I am now. And everything I saw was, okay, if I dance like her, just the name itself is influence and is mentorship, in my opinion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Councilor Luzon.
Thank you, Council President. I think that we're not asking, we're asking to build a relationship with Mr. Ortiz. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of being famous for him, and it's part of the city. It will be nice to see him here maybe once a year. Asking is going to bring you a no or a yes. Nothing wrong with that. So if DPW, I'm assuming they are the ones having this conversation, can add an email, if possible, suggesting that we'll be grateful. It will be great for the city to have him here once a year. Because I know he's been helping families, especially Dominican families, with health issues. Families from this community. So we know that. But if we can have a commitment to have him once a year for a clinic, hopefully, for a baseball clinic with the students, it will be nice. If we say yes, great. If we say no, it's great too. That's what I mean when I said what we're going to get back from him. And I know he's going to get involved because we know him, as a baseball legend, and he likes to get involved, especially with Red Sox fans and Dominicans. So I know he's going to say yes.
Thank you, Councilor Luzon. Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you, Council President. So I'm actually intrigued by what the Council Vice President said a few minutes ago when she discussed the Nicky Jam situation, where there was a long dialogue and there was assurances that were made by the individual, by Nikki Jam, about getting involved in the city, and I think a precedent has already been established now with that. And I think it would, in listening to Council President, our colleagues speak on this matter, it seems like there's more colleagues who would like to know a little bit more about what impact could Mr. Ortiz have in our city. And I know that the counselor to my right has mentioned that he's been involved in doing some stuff with healthcare with some Dominican families. I'm unaware of that. I would like to know more about that. I'd like to know how involved is he. I'd like to know how many people he's impacted. I think that's important. He may be a little shy. He may not want that information to get out. I don't know. But as decision makers, if that's going to be part of our calculus, part of our decision making, I think it's important that we know that. But I guess I'd like to follow through on what the Council Vice President suggested, which is, and maybe tailor it in such a way where this is not necessarily a quid pro quo, but rather an extension of a partnership. You know, Mr. Ortiz, the City Council is interested in joining a partnership with you. Do you have an interest in joining us in that partnership? There's a lot of opportunities here for you to be more involved, and we invite you to be more involved. We want you to be more involved. You can have a tremendous impact with our children who and adults who look up to you in many ways for baseball purposes. You're welcome. So I think what I like to do is to maybe wait to see, is to offer that kind of letter or memo or invitation and see what the response is. I mean, naming a field, it's a big deal, and it's a huge deal. We should not, and I know we're not, we shouldn't be taking it cavalierly. We should be very serious about naming something after someone. In this particular case, the overwhelming number of the fields that have been named in our city have been named by either someone who's lived here or someone who has worked here. And I can count maybe on one hand, I can count on one hand, the individuals who have never even been in our city or have that kind of connection in actually entering our city and doing something. So, but maybe Mr. Ortiz is someone that's going to step up. And I'd be, as a sponsor, that I would like to know that. So if it's okay, Council President, what I'd like to do is make a motion that we advise or instruct and that some sort of communication be sent to Mr. Ortiz and his organization, just to have a better understanding that we are a people that are looking for more of a relationship. And what does that mean to him? I'd like to know what that means to him when we say we want to form a relationship, and see what he says in response. We're not saying if you do this, we do that. I just want to know what that means to him. And then I'd like to make, if I can get a second to that, I'd like to make a motion to table to allow that process to do what it's supposed to do, to get that response back, so we can feel comfortable about this vote.
So you're making that as a form of
I just made a motion that we send a correspondence to Mr. Ortiz stating a request to enter a partnership and to see in what way we can further a relationship with him.
Is the correspondent going to go through the mayor's office or through the DPW or?
I would leave it to the DPW, and I would leave it to the mayor's office, who is to make the determination as to how he wants to assign it. The mayor himself can do it. He can assign that task to someone on his staff or a department head. I don't know, but I don't want to micromanage who sends it, as long as it's sent out by someone with the authority of the mayor.
All right, there is a properly second from Councilor Marmo.
Motion.
Discussion, Councilor Luzon.
Council President, I thank you, Mr. LaPlante, for your comment, but I'm concerned about the date for this project. Do we know what day it is?
They were planning to do it during the Hispanic Heritage.
October. But just, and I'm going to add a suggestion. Yes, we want to send the letter, but we also, as a suggestion, and I understand what Mr. LaPlante, Councilor LaPlante just mentioned, But if we can send a communication that hopefully we would like to create this relationship, and we would like to see A, B, and C, but not to put up, it should not be, it shouldn't look like we are asking, I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. I'm assuming the city wants to honor him with naming this field after him, and that we're building a relationship, but we would like to see a commitment, but hopefully it doesn't seem like we are asking for too much from the foundation.
Thank you, Councilor Song.
I don't know, you will put it in your terms.
All right, let's call this question. Any questions in regard to the specific motion that it was to
Yes.
send correspondent to the mayor? Is it related to the
Yes.
motion? Councilor Levy.
So I think, thank you, Council President, and I think that if we delay and we put a motion just to table, we're gonna delay whatever that we are looking at this moment. And the recognition wanna be like for the heritage in October, it's like this is October. And it's gonna be more difficult for us to get any response, for them to come back or whatever his organization and to decide what they are going to do. So maybe if we postpone and we table, we will not be able to see anything by October. It is going to be delayed maybe by the next year. At this point, we can send the correspondent, we can send everything, but at the same time, we should not table this item and pass.
No problem, Councilor. Point well taken. It's up to the
Council
council. It's up to the councilor to vote in favor or against this specific motion. At this point, we discussing the specific motion that was in front of us. Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Listening to my colleague, Councilor Levy, and I want to say I appreciate Councilor LaPlante's gesture. But now, thinking back to how we did it with Nicky Jam, the council did approve the naming of the music school and the signage and everything before he came. And it was the day of that the mayor presented him with, for lack of a better word, a contract of a partnership within the city and him to move forward with. And like that included everything that I mentioned prior, like the scholarship and stuff like that. So we can do something like that and or we can approve it still with the condition, with the amendment of still sending out a correspondence or something like that. But it all depends on how the sponsor of this item feels.
So, Councilor Vice President Infante, the way we did it with the Nicky Jams, that we worked together, you involved me on the project because it wasn't my district. We actually went ahead and approved the corner of one corner of Broadway Street, close to where he used to live, and then we proceed with the potential dedication of the art center as a second tier of the project. On this case, we have no potential project in the future. We have fields that are going to be dedicated to a specific person. A Salón de la Fama person for the baseball, and it is a little challenge, a little different. But I understand everybody's concerns and point of view. That's why I'm entertaining, because they are in order. Councilor Reyes.
Thank you, through you, Mr. President. I want to follow the conversation through our Vice President, because we do this. We approve it before through. When we dedicate this corner to Nicky Jam. And also, we started this conversation after that with Nicky, and he was very friendly. He offered his commitment. I can do a friendly amendment to my colleague, Mr. LaPlante, to approve this item pending this kind of conversation. We can start it when we offer this dedication.
Councilor Reyes, what we have in front of us is a correspondence to be sent to the mayor. The approval haven't been, we haven't made a determination.
And
We can
but-
proceed with the approval after we send the correspondence, but the intent, as per Councilor Plan, is to send correspondence and subsequently put a motion to table. The motion to table not necessarily have to go through, it's up to the councilors. We can proceed with the approval, and because we have an underlying motion.
Okay.
So-
After that, I can do motion to on the table and approve it. Because I'm asking.
No, I mean.
No, because.
Essentially, we have this motion right now, which is to send correspondence to the mayor and potentially have this conversation as a potential relationship built up. And eventually, we're gonna proceed with the underlying motion if it is any other motion, and then we'll entertain if it is in order. So at this point, I'll call the question to send correspondence to the administration and we can reiterate the motion at this point. Madam Clerk, can you reiterate the motion?
I see. The motion is to send correspondence or communication sent to Mr. Ortiz and his organization that we're interested in creating a partnership, and what does that mean to him? Is that basically this?
That's a very broad, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but that does capture the essence of my motion.
All right. At this point, Councilor.
And asking that the mayor, we can't force the mayor to do anything, but we can ask the mayor to do it unless I feel more comfortable if the mayor whose office, who has a relationship with Mr. Ortiz, make that request, if the mayor is willing to do that. If the mayor is unwilling to do that, then if this motion carries, it'll have to come from the council.
Yeah, as far as I understand, Councilor, the conversation have already, and that was part of the conversation originally. This conversation have already started.
Correct.
And it's an ongoing conversation. That's what you say at the beginning.
And a date that he has a schedule or
Yes.
have put aside for.
So I think that
definitely-
doing this is like is double dipping, but I mean, it's in order. We can call for the questions whether or not we want to do that to ensure that this is what we're doing or this is what the desire of the council, or we can just proceed with the underlying motion subsequently, which is to approve. Any other questions in regard to the motion? All right, at this point, I'll call the questions. All those in favor to send correspondence to the mayor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Now we're going to proceed with the underlying motion, which is motion to approve,
Council President.
unless there is any other motion.
Council President, I'd like to.
For you.
All right, there is any questions in regard?
I'd like to make a motion.
Make-
I haven't made a
what's the
motion to table
motion?
yet, but I'm about to. I'd like to make a motion to table this matter to allow the correspondence to go through its process.
No, wait, motion to table, it's oversee the underlying motion. It is up to the councilors to actually go with the table motion. At this point, can I hear a second for that motion? For the motion to table. Councilor Plan have a motion to table. Can I hear a second? Can I hear a second for the motion to table? There is no motion, there is no second for the motion to table, so motion fails. Now, the underlying motion is motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
The underlying motion is motion to approve that it was originally made.
Second.
And it was already second, the underlying motion, which is basically, the original motion was to approve.
Oh, way back.
Yeah, way back. So at this point, since there is no other discussion, Councilor LaPlante.
Thank you. So now I'm in a bit of a bind. And this is going to be one of the weirdest votes I've ever taken, frankly.
You sponsored this, though.
Pardon me?
You sponsored this.
I'm sorry.
You're part of the sponsorship of this item.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, in case I forgot, and it's on the piece of paper. No, I'm well aware. I am a sponsor of this motion, in case the council president was unclear. And this is why this is particularly odd for me. I have a very strong spot in my heart for the youth of our city and having them have, especially in my district, especially because that's the place that I represent, having a ball field that they can take great pride in, that they can learn the skills of teamwork and understand that that sport in this case, baseball, can be a pathway to further learning. And if we can get more of our children involved in sports, that's a good thing. That's an excellent thing. We get them off the streets. We're doing things. And I think that this could have that ability. I have been consistent in the past regarding the naming of things, and the reason why I was interested in hearing more about the Vice President's discussion with Nikki Jam, because I thought there may have been a pathway for me to a final yes on this vote. There are three things that I look at when I pull myself back out of this to try to make a determination, because I've given this an awful lot of thought. When we look around our city, almost unanimously, there's been one or two, most very recent actually. Someone's either born in our city, someone's either lived in our city, or someone has done something that has contributed directly in a substantial way to the residents of our city. The first two of those elements are not checked off. The third one, I'm not there. I heard tonight for the first time, and I don't know the details, because I've made some phone calls, I've asked around, I've done some due diligence to try to get more information. And I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard, but I want to know more. And so I want to be consistent. I don't want to be someone who is out there who is hypocritical on something. I would like to have some integrity and remain that way with respect to having things that I mentioned before and I follow through on it and not necessarily put a caveat. So I want to be consistent with that. I think, except for the things we may have discussed previously, that as a baseball player, Mr. Ortiz is an outstanding individual. He has a record. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's an amazing guy. And in our city, with a tremendously high population of Dominican ancestry, that means something, and that's important. And I get it. I totally get that. But when I look at the three things that I'm trying to find out, regardless of nationality, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of anything like that, I'm a Laurentian first. And that's what I look at first. So anyway, I'm not going to be able to support this motion this evening, which is kind of odd, frankly. But I think it's worthy of me explaining why. It's not because I have anything against Mr. Ortiz. It's not anything against the mayor or the administration. I think if this vote passes, it's going to be a fantastic thing to the people that I represent in my district. I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm trying to remain some consistent and understanding that this is what these things should be named for. Laurentians. People from Lawrence who have a direct tie in our city. Thank you.
First. Okay, yeah. All right, the council, point well taken. Councilor Marmo.
Councilor LaPlante, I just want to make sure I gained an understanding from what you just stated, and I don't know if I missed it. Is there an ordinance already that exists when it comes to naming a facility or a park? Is there an ordinance in place where it says that there are certain requirements? No?
Council Vice President, President, I'd like to answer that question because I think it's a fantastic question that my counselor from District D has asked. There is no ordinance on it. And I like it that way, actually, because I'll tell you why. There are 9 of us. I've just articulated what my standards are for naming of something. Other councilors may have different standards. I don't want to put my standard for the next city councilor or the council 20 years from now. I want it to be able to breathe and go to wherever the council at that time is. So I believe real strongly about the position that I hold. I've seen the record of our city. I've seen what we've done in our city, and I want to continue doing that. There's plenty of really good people that we can honor, but that's the criteria that I look for.
All right, councilors. At this point, I will call the questions. All those in favor to name of the South Lawrence East Athletic Fields, David Ortiz Athletics Complex, sponsor for Councilor LaPlante, Mayor Brian De Peña, and Jorge Jaime, the director of the DPW. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Roll call, please.
I'm gonna start with you.
I'm ready.
Counselor Reyes?
Yes.
Counselor Marmal?
Yes.
Counselor Santiago?
Yes.
Counselor Del Rosario is noted as absent. Counselor Luzon?
Yes.
Counselor LaPlante?
No.
Counselor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Mr. Chair, from the Ordinance Committee, item 34124. Yes, councilors, before we continue with that, let me take something out of new business. And this item will be going to the Ordinance Committee. But before, councilors, I would like to, councilors, we, on this item 37824, which is the install of one SO pole at Auburn Street near the Short Street and Oak Street. This is the National Grid item referred to number 303-43160. And this is in relationship to the Oliver School, to bring service to the school. What we would like, councilors, before we send it to the Ordinance Committee, is to order a public hearing to be posted and here for the next City Council meeting. So, councilors, I would like to ask for motion to order a public hearing for this item to be in front of us next meeting.
Second.
There is a motion on the table by Councilor Santiago, second by Councilor Vice President Infante. Any discussion? This is just to order the public hearing. At this time, I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. This item 378 will be going to the Ordinance Committee. Thank you. Now we're going back to the top of the agenda, which is the Ordinance Committee. Mr. Chair, from the Ordinance Committee, item 34124.
The Ordinance Committee met for this item, which is Spigot River cleanup on September 21st, 2024, Manchester Street Park. Sent to the full council with a favorable recommendation to make that in the form of a motion.
Can we take these as a, item 324?
So this is a document 34224 with the Ordinance Committee sent this up to full council. Recommendation to order a public hearing, make that in the form of a motion.
There is a motion on the table to order public hearing for item 34224. Can you hear it? Properly second discussion.
Aye.
So, your item will be, you will be able to come over next week at the Ordinance Committee, but the public hearing for the item already has been ordered, which is going to be on the 20th. So it's going to be our next meeting. So we're going to be at next meeting, and also the 20th to hear this item as part of the public hearing. So,
This item and the previous one that was done for the school, right, for Oak Street?
the only one that was done, was the one for the school.
Okay.
SO four, the item 37824, which is the installation of an SO pole, the Short Street and Oak Street. There is any other one that you have, with the same characteristic of?
Yeah, you just said it. It was on the matters pending public hearing, 224-24. Install one JO pole on West Street.
Do you need that item as well?
That's what I'm here for. The other one, I was here for that also to speak for our company. First of all, Dave Boucher, National Grid, 1101 Turnpike Street, North Andover.
We have a pending matter and a new item. The new item, which is item 37824, will order the public hearing and was sent to the board.
I understand, and you're going to do it next week. I understand that. But I am also here, I was here initially on the matter of at the beginning of the agenda.
Yes.
224/24.
Okay, which is the installation on 1J pole on West Street near Hanlon Court.
Correct.
So is this item, do you have any issues, Madam Clerk, with this item that is matters that are pending public hearing?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall why this public hearing didn't happen, so I can look at the folder for you. If it's already been ordered as a public hearing, I can have it on the 20th also, but I don't have that paper. That wasn't an item for tonight. It's pending, it's been sitting there for months.
That's what I was sent here for, and then this morning they told me about Oak Street.
Yeah, that's been on the agenda
That's the
that-
communication that we got.
Okay.
And I
Yeah, but I
had
mean,
no idea about Oak Street until this morning.
When you say communication that you got, we didn't send you any.
I don't know when we got the one for West Street, but I can see it's on your agenda as a matter pending public hearing.
Yeah, but we don't have it as a public hearing. It's a matter that is pending public hearing, so we're not hearing this today
We
because
were asked to come here for that.
for that, who sent you the communication for that?
I'm not, the clerk could answer that. The clerk gets communication from the city and then brings it to the designers.
Your clerk or our clerk?
Our National Grid clerk.
Okay, gotcha.
received correspondence from you.
All right, no, because I mean, as far as we know, our clerk haven't sent communication for that item.
Okay.
But let's put it in perspective. If there is no issues for this public hearing to happen, it will be posted for the 20th. Our clerk will communicate tomorrow about if it is anything related to this item that doesn't allow to go through.
With this one also?
If there is anything pending or
Yeah.
anything related to.
That's what I would expect them to do, yeah, okay.
I mean, we don't know anything about this item as of right now, but we will let you know tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's not on the agenda to be discussed. It is not on the agenda to be discussed tonight.
Okay.
Well, you get the wrong information, and it was not from here.
Yeah, I was ready for that. I was asked last week to come on this, and only because someone corresponded to us. I mean.
Do you have the
miscommunication
correspondence?
happened.
Do you have the correspondence to you so we can
I don't take
read
care
what
of
you
that.
have?
Our clerk handles that, and they
Okay.
bring it to us, and we're asked to go to the meetings individually, so, but.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a public hearing
Okay.
for this today. If we have no issues with the item,
Yep.
we'll post it for the next meeting.
Okay.
If it is any issue, we will let you know tomorrow.
Okay,
All right, thank you so much.
sounds good, thank you.
All right. Going on top of the agenda, we have item 34324. Mr. Chair from the Ordinance Committee.
24 is the removal of handicap parking on Haverhill Street. That was sent up to the full council to order a public hearing and make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. Was second for Councilor Santiago. Discussion. There is no discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Can we get item 348, 349, 350, 351, 352, 353, 354, 55, 356, and 357 as a block? And if councilor have any questions, we can proceed. Can we proceed with that as a block?
I make a motion that we proceed as a block as long as we mention everybody's name.
Sure.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Chair, can you provide us with the name item by item?
Sure, so I'll say it once, that the items, each of these items are for an individual who is going to be who's a city special employee, meaning except for one, they work the elections, and because of that, they need to get, they need to disclose to us that to be able to get the senior tax write-off program, that they need to disclose to us that they also are a special city employee.
Yeah, that first individual, Elizabeth Byron, she's a tutor.
So the first one is for 34824, disclosure of a potential conflict by special employee Elizabeth Byron. She's a school official. Make that in the form of a motion.
So do you want to read it all and all the names and then, because we took
Sure,
it
I
as a
think
block?
that's the only one that's a little bit different.
Okay, so let's take that one as individually and then we take the rest of the block. There is a motion to approve this disclosure for potential conflict. And that is being properly second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 149 and the rest.
349.24, 350.24, 351.24, 354, 354.24, 355.24, 356.24, and finally, 357.24 as a block.
All right, there is a motion to take all those as a block. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now, can you read the names, please?
Sure. This is a disclosure that each one of these individuals work as a special employee on the for the elections, and they work in the senior tax write-off program, including Shirley D'Angelo, Kathleen LaPlume, Geraldine McNeil, Lorraine Mangan, Maureen Murphy, Linda Poulin, Patricia Riddle, Councilor Richard Russell, and Marilyn Toomey, to make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion? I hear none, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we're gonna go to personal committee. There is no.
Council
wait,
President.
Give me 1 minute. Personal committee, there is no report. Public safety committee, there is no report. Committee of the whole, there is no report. Now we're going to old business. There is nothing on the old business. Now we're going to table matters. Councilors, there is any table matters that would like to discuss?
Council President, I would like to take item out of table and out of order, 44423, that is the requesting of the voting ID.
Councilor Levy, did we get any correspondence back from that, from what we sent
Yeah,
before?
everything was done and you discussed it at the meeting, the last meeting in
Did we send
July.
correspondence to somebody?
And you put it on table. Yes, we got the correspondence for the city attorney, everything was the same. And your question was, this was a home run petition. It continued the same, it's a home run petition, nothing having changed during the time that the proposal was submitted and the time that the proposal I'm doing.
Councilors, there is a motion to remove this from table. Can you hear a second? Second. Properly second. All those in favor, please say aye. No.
No.
Roll call.
Counselor Levy.
Yes.
Counselor, this is to take the item back off the table. So Counselor Levy saying yes. Counselor LaPlante?
Yes.
Counselor Luzon? Yes. Counselor Del Rosario is noted as absent. Counselor Santiago?
No.
Counselor Marmal?
No.
Counselor Reyes? Yes. Counsel Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President?
I voted no. So what's the count?
5 in favor, 3 opposed, 1 absent.
All right, motion carries. Councilor Levy, you have the floor.
I wasn't in here at the last meeting when it was discussed, and I know that it was tabled, because they were looking to find out if this is a home run petition or this is something that we are voting as a city council. I think so that this was the
Councilor Levy,
question.
let's look at our record. What was the discussion before? Give me 1 minute. I believe that the discussion was if the mayor have an agreement, because this is a home rule petition. That's what I think it was, but let's take a look at it. So that was the correspondence that was sent to the mayor. That's why I think that we ask you if we get the correspondence back from the mayor before we discuss it.
We had talked about sending this to the attorney. There were some questions about whether 5 votes were necessary or 6 votes were necessary. I did have some conversations with the attorney about that, but I didn't get a formal correspondence back from him on that. I think Councilor LaPlante had asked about that as well. I don't know if you got a response back?
What was the last vote? Some correspondence to the mayor?
The last vote was simply to table the item while we asked for, it was information from the city attorney. Because also with the home rule petition, the question was, it had to be how many votes from the council, and then the mayor would have to sign off as well before it goes to the legislature. They were just trying to verify that it could not come directly from the council. It has to be the council with the sponsorship of the mayor if it's a home rule petition, which is what this is.
So essentially, we send correspondence to the mayor or
To
no?
the attorney, not to
To
the
the
mayor. Yeah. And I don't have a response
Council
back.
President.
Do we have correspondence from the city attorney?
I do not. No, I do not.
So that was-
The last thing he sent us was the draft proposal, which was just before your last meeting on July 16th. But I don't have anything back from him since then.
I know that we tabled it for a reason,
Yep.
and we haven't had that.
I also think part of the question was about the nature of the IDs. If you are requiring an ID, are you required to provide an ID? And also, people wanted to hear from Councilor Levy because it was her item, and they wanted to get some background on why she wanted this, and none of that was available at the last meeting. So those are the main issues that were why it was tabled. But also, it was with regard to the ID, but also, the biggest thing was the questions for the attorney.
So no correspondence from the city attorney, so Councilor Levy.
Okay.
You have the floor.
Yes, Council President, I don't know why there has to be too much delay working on this since September of the last year. I've been putting this item out, and every time it's something that's never we get the correct answer or whatever that, from principal, from the attorney. The city attorney is the person who is supposed to advise or just to let us know what's going on.
Easy,
It's
Councilor.
easy. And very easy. So the city attorney is, since
Wanna show
September, it's nothing, this is something that is been in here since 2011, 2013, that was approved by all the members of the city council. That was not approved by the delegation when Mayor Sullivan brought it to the state, but all the people, all the
So, Councilor.
council approve it.
what
I'm
you're
not
saying-
trying
what
to
you're
the
saying-
table anything different.
Wait, what you're saying is that back in 2011, the city council and the mayor sent this out to the legislation to approve this, but it was denied. That's what you're saying?
I don't think so that it was denied. They just only tabled over there and never discussed it.
Well, we haven't have it, so it was
Okay.
not approved. Let's put it that way.
It
You
was
may
not
continue.
approved, exactly. So I just take them out on September of the last year,
2023.
2023.
Okay.
It was sent to the city attorney just to review, see there is any change on the law, any change or any different that has to be added to this proposal or to this home run petition. Anytime that I speak with him, he said nothing have been changed, everything is the same. That was no problem. At the beginning of the year, when I spoke with him at the end of the year, he said that he sent it back to the city clerk, and he said, that anything was okay, that it was no problem to bring to the table at the labor of the city council.
All right, Councilor Levy.
Yes.
It sounds like you blaming others because the job haven't been done. You brought that up, explained to the council and the people from Lawrence and Massachusetts why you want this. And this is why we will be having this discussion. You have the floor to discuss this.
I think so, yes. I think that we should have an ID in the city, not just only in the city of Lawrence, but in the state. Right now, we had right now, I can say, that was submitted, that kind of proposal or the home run petition was submitted on the state of Ohio, North Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, and so many other states already approved ID. And everybody knows why. It's better if you have an ID when you come to vote. When I was working at the city election, okay, I had a person who came 4 times to vote. 4 times to vote.
Did you report
And
it?
the last time I discovered this person, I called the police and I said, this person has been in here voting 4 times. He peed in front of me. And he was taken to the jail.
So,
All right,
and that is
Councilor
not
Levy.
just only the case, I can mention so many other cases.
Okay,
So,
Councilor Levy,
I
look,
think
look,
that people
Councilor Levy,
should
to help
present-
out the discussion that we have here
Okay,
of this
but
home rule
this is
petition,
something.
and this home rule petition, the council have concerns about absentee voting and mail-in ballots. Please explain your points on that, because that's why the conversation or vote was then taken
Well,
and it was
that
tabled.
is-
So please allow us understand your points about the item.
Okay, I think so that this is something that we should have ID. Not just only because you want me to explain, but this is also how the attorney can address us and say, okay, what is going to happen doing this or doing that? So, see, this is the case, when you go, let me tell you something, you go to Social Security and the first thing that they are, give me your ID. You go to see a doctor and it doesn't matter your age, they say, I need an ID. So everybody, I think so that everybody have ID. We had election not too long ago from Dominican Republic in here. We have, how many tables did we have, Council Reyes? About
Councilor
40,
Reyes,
28
Councilor
tables.
Reyes, you're allowed to respond. Go
Okay,
ahead.
and everybody show
Over
up
to-
with
over
their
20.
ID.
Councilor Levy, we want to hear you, how we're going to be dealing with absentee ballots and the mail-in ballots. That's why we wait on table this. You took this out of table.
Yes.
Please provide us with those answers, because in that way you actually educate the council and we can proceed with the vote if we take a vote. Otherwise, why we on table this if you don't have those answers?
You, Mr. President?
No, let me hear them.
They can make a copy, they can put it along with the ballot.
Okay. Councilor Reyes, you have the floor.
Councilor, can you explain what is the item in the agenda? Why you think it's important to us in our community to presenting ID at the moment we go to vote?
Because that's, thank you,
Councilor
because
Levy.
this is the way
Councilor
that
Levy.
people is going to be, thank you, Councilor, that's a way that we can be recognized and that we are the person who said that is going, that is voting. There are so many people in here that are going to vote. At one time, we have to clean the list from people who already been there. That they were voting in here.
All right, Councilor Levy, give me 1 minute. Madam Clerk, can you explain a little bit about around the list as to how this work every time that you guys need to clean it? For the purpose of the discussion, Councilor Levy just brought that up.
So when we clean the list, we have to do it with the authorization from the Commonwealth, from the state. So there are instances when we know someone is deceased and we want to take their name off the list. We have to wait for the state to, we have to wait for the state to tell us that we don't change the voting list without authorization from the Commonwealth. So we don't add voters or take voters off without, especially with the deceased instance. We've had people that we know are deceased. We're waiting for the state to tell us. We can ask the state, hey, we know this person is deceased. Can you help us process it? But that doesn't get initiated downstairs. It gets initiated at 1 Ashburton Place in Boston.
Yes, I understand that we have to be,
Council-
thank you.
Councilor Levy.
I'm sorry, Council President, through you. I know that we have to wait for the Secretary of State just to let you know when we have to clean the list. But sometimes people take advantage, okay, that they know that the person passed away and they come and vote with the name of the person before this person is being taken off from the list.
That's-
And so
that's
sometime-
according
how
to-
long does it take? I'm sorry.
That's a felony, actually, when somebody voted.
Yes. That's a felony.
That's
Yes.
actually an state law that actually brought people to jail when they vote for someone else or when they're not allowed to vote.
Council
So-
President, I'm telling you that when I was
Councilor Levy?
working, yes, when I was working, okay, I'm very immaculate. One person came 4 times to vote with different name. On the last time, I identified the guy, when he came, and I said, you have been in here this is your 4th time coming to vote.
Councilor Levy, I understand your concern, a lot of concerns throughout the state of Massachusetts with the current.
It's a lot of concern.
Councilor Levy, for the sake of the discussion, there is concerns and we understand, and that this is a state law, it's not a local law. We don't have.
Council President, that is why it's a home run petition that I know that the state has to approve. We are only putting a little piece, and try to make something and change a little bit and make this thing more eligible, that people can trust in our voting in our election division.
To put it in perspective, statistic-wise, do you know how many cities and towns in the state of Massachusetts have adopted this law?
So as far as I know, nobody have been adopted on the state.
So we know-
we can be the first one who can adopt it.
Okay.
I went to a meeting. Just went to a meeting to your on District F, and the first thing that they told me in last year, oh, I hear that you want to have an ID, and we all agree. Do you need us to take a signature to support you? So I think so. If we put it on the ballot, more than 90% of the people are going to agree to have ID to vote.
So you're saying that if this goes on the ballot as a yes or no in the city of Lawrence, people will vote in favor of it?
Yes.
And will you have you considered that?
Yes.
Okay.
Council
No
President.
problem. Councilor Marmo.
Okay, through you, Council President, in our last meeting when we discussed this item, some of us have expressed being in favor of this when you're physically going in to cast your vote, providing an ID. I think in this meeting, and the reason why it was tabled, Councilor Levy, you are still failing to provide explanation as to what some of the challenges that we had previously asked, and this is the whole point of why this meeting is this item is being discussed right now, is how is those challenges, providing an ID for an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot, what is the solution that are you providing, or how do you see that process being, taking place with with these changes that you are proposing?
Councilors, if there is no answer to those, I'll call the question, and then we can proceed. There is any questions in regarding to the underlying motion? What is the underlying motion, Madam Clerk?
It came up as a committee report, so there's not an underlying motion.
All right, there is no underlying motion. The committee report was approved, right? And then there is no underlying motions. Councilor, what is the motion?
Motion to table.
Motion to, second.
There is a motion to table, no discussion on the table matters. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. Roll call, please.
Councilor Reyes.
Yes.
Councilor Marmo.
Yes.
Councilor Santiago.
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario is noted as absent. Councilor Luzon.
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante.
Yes.
Councilor Levy. No. Council Vice President Infante.
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez.
Vote yes, motion carries. Any other matters?
Council President.
Any other matters from the table matters?
Council President.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I would like to untable item number 466-23, replace plaques on monument at Toomey Fountain in Isabel Melendez Park from former Councilor Rich Russell.
What's the item number?
It's right under the voting ID, item 466-23.
I got you. Right there.
Thank you.
This is the replace plaques on monuments of Toomey Fountains and Isabel Melendez Park. It was brought together to us by former Councilor Russell. There is any motions to untable this? There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion? There is no discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Council President, I would like to make a motion to send correspondence, an official correspondence to DPW to ensure that these plaques get replaced, as the commitment was that the revisions for these plaques will take place after the fiscal year 25 budget was approved.
There is a motion to send correspondence to the mayor. Properly second. Santiago, you seconded? Properly second, discussion.
Discussion.
Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. Quickly, for our new members, the reason why this was brought up was because Mayor De Peña's and the I believe one of them, the DPW director's names was a lot larger than the actual individuals that these areas were being named after. The mayor did agree to fix it, and he did that he was very, very good with us on that, and so did the DPW director. So.
All right, I remember also, Councilor Vice President Infante, that he was waiting for that for the new budget to go through.
We already approved it.
So that went through. So all those in favor to send correspondence to the mayor, please say aye.
Aye. It was
Any
to
nays?
DPW.
And to DPW. Any nays? The ayes have it. Any other any table matters that we would like to discuss today? All right, I'm going to, no, we're going next meeting. All right, we're going to new business, item 36424, which is the softball tournament on August 31st, 2024, and September 1st, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the O'Connor Park, Field 1 and 2. It was together by Devlin Valentin. This is going to go to the Ordinance Committee. Item 36524. Dime. Item 36524, Día del Juego Familia Sport Day. Volleyball on August 31st at the Howard Park. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 36624, Family Gathering, September 1st at the Storo Drive. At the Storo Park. At the Storo Park. It's gonna go to the Ordinance Committee. I'm sorry, it was a long day today. Item 36724, Celebrate Recovery Month and Overdose Awareness Event on August 24th at the Common Chuscarito Park. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 36824, which is the resolution regarding the status of the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority in transfer of the properties. Council President Giovanni Rodriguez. I will refer, but councilors, before we refer this item to any committee, you received correspondence early today around this specific resolution. The intent of this resolution is to update everybody that is being part of the LRA's request for proposals that is being going out as we speak. The reason why I'm putting this up is because I want to make everybody aware of the status of the LRA and the transfer of those properties. If you believe that this should be taken as an emergency and adopt this resolution with the information to be provided to the public, since this is going on right now, I will entertain any particular motions around this. If it's not, I will refer to the regular committees. Councilors, are you entertaining any? Are you interested of entertaining this as an emergency, or prefer to send it to committee?
Send to committee.
Any other councilors?
It's an emergency?
It's the request for proposal currently is being going on at the LRA. What we're trying to do with this is to update anybody that would like to put a proposal up there through this resolution, which is an official opinion of the City of Lawrence. What I'm scared of is that by the time that we approve this, the request for proposal, it's already gone, and people that have spent thousands of dollars thinking like we have already transferred those properties to the LRA. They're doing that, and that's basically why the intent of this resolution is. To me, it is an emergency because that it is something that is going on, and people are doing those, sending those, or participating on those requests for proposal without knowing the status of those properties currently. So, if it's not, I'll move forward and send it to the ordinance committee. Councilors, what's their desire?
Ordinance committee?
Could you repeat your question, Council President? Because I think this item should be under economic development.
No, the intent of this item is to just provide an opinion of the city council, which it will become through a resolution and an official opinion of the city of Lawrence, to send to be discussed now today with the information that I sent early today. If it's not, we'll send it to we'll refer to the ordinance committee. All right, we'll refer this item to the ordinance committee. Item 36924, which is the childcare parking 38 Carnes Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37024, which is childcare parking at 106 Barclay Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37124, which is a childcare parking. This is going to be on 112 Parking Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37224, which is a childcare parking at 15 at First Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37324, which is a childcare parking at 245 Bruce Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37424, which is a childcare parking at 105 Park Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37524, which is childcare parking on 111 Saratoga Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37624, which is childcare parking at 113 Saratoga Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 37724, which is childcare parking at 205 Fairview Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Councilor Levy, let me ask you a question. Oh, she's gone? Did you call everybody, or did you just put it because somebody have a daycare? And do you think...
Through you, Mr. President, this item go to the ordinance committee. We can review and follow the information through our committee.
And
Thank you.
I already sent it to the committee. I just wondering if Councilor Levy put it without the proper contact, because it was too many.
You know, it's the item there, and we have a huge list.
It been sent to the committee,
Yes,
Councilor Reyes.
we have the huge list through the last year. We're waiting for this ordinance. That is the reason we have a couple in the list right now.
I understand. I referred to committee, and the question was referred to Councilor Levy. Item 37924, which is handicap parking at 46 Kendall Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38024, childcare parking, 7 Lennox Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38124, remove handicap parking from 19 Logan Street. This is going to go to the ordinance committee. Item 38224, a stop sign on East Haber Street, corner of Avon Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38324, no parking on Canton Street, one of the right side. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38424, one side parking of Beacon Avenue. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38524, which is handicap parking space at 48 Sanders Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38624, handicap parking at 171 Gardner Street. This is going to the ordinance committee. Item 38724, authorization to spend grant of $11,389.70 for the fiscal year 2024 Safe and Senior Safe Grant. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 38824, annual fire service charges, water and sewer connection fees. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 38924, payment for prior year's invoice for the amount of $3,377.61. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 39024, which is the authorization to expand grant funds of $2 million, Congresswoman Lori Trujant. Community project funding. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Authorization to expand grants of $100,000, Broadband Institute for Digital Equity Implementation Plan. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 39224, which is the authorization to expand grant funds for the amount of $8,146.64. Mass DEP Recycling Division Program. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. 39324, which is the authorization to spend grant for the amount of $139,105 from Mass Department of Public Health. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 39424, which is the authorization to spend funds of $286,000 from MBPC EPA revolving notes funds. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 39524, which is this extension of the 90 days appointment for the DPW deputy directors, Rosana de Rosario. This is going to the Personnel Committee. Item 39624, which is the extension of the 90 days appointment, DPW Deputy Chief, not Director. Deputy Chief Aida Santana, same as the previous item. This is going to the Personnel Committee. Councilors, those two items are going to go, they're asking to expand the 90 days appointment for the intention and the reason of starting the process of posting the job, interviewing for the job, and subsequently hiring somebody for the job. In the meantime, they're expanding the 90 days appointment. That was the information we got. Item 39724, the disclosure of potential conflict by the city employee, Jennifer Duran. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 39824, the disclosure of potential conflict of city employees, Alisa Coco. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 39924, the disclosure of potential conflict of conflict for city employees, Luisa Madugno. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 424, the disclosure of potential conflict by city employees, Edeli Gonzalez. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 40124, name park located at the Canal Street at Oxford Paper Mill, unofficially called Oxford Park, to Julia Silverio. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 40224, Hanley Street, first review of the update ordinance times for one-way. Councilor Vice President Infante have filed this item late. For that, we need a motion to add this item to the agenda as a late file. Councilors, can I get a motion to add this to the agenda? There is a motion on the table, properly second. Discussion. I hear none at this point. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We need 6 votes for this.
7 for it.
7 votes for the late file.
Do you want to just take a quick?
And we'll take a roll call for this. Madam Clerk?
Councilor Levy is noted as absent. Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon? Yes. Councilor Del Rosario is noted as absent. Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmol?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Yes, motion carries. Councilors, any other items that would like to discuss tonight?
Refer that to the Ordinance Committee.
Oh, yeah, we need going to refer that to the Ordinance Committee. Last item that was
Thank you, Council
added to the
President.
agenda. Item 40224, Hanley Street, first school review and update the ordinance time. This is going to the Ordinance Committee. Councilors, can I get a motion to adjourn? Oh, sorry. Committees? Ordinance Committee?
Tuesday, 7.
Tuesday at 7. Budget and Finance Committee?
Wednesday at 7.
There is any other committee that would like to, that is going to meet?
Personnel would be Wednesday at 6.
All right, any other committee that would like to meet? All right, at this time, councilors, all the committee have been assigned. Can I go on a motion to adjourn?
Second.
There's a motion to adjourn, properly second. All those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it. Thank you, councilors.